Good evening, Nation. Welcome to another edition of Rogue Nation, your one-stop for whatever we want. Tonight, as always, I got the Red Ranger of Power.
Hello.
I got the God Doom of the podcast.
I forgot about the new nicknames.
Yep. And of course, I am your Herald of Thunder.
You gave yourself the most relevant one.
I did. But that's where it came from. I wanted that name.
Why not?
So tonight, we're going to kind of jump around. We'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Hey, isn't that how all of our lives go?
Yeah, pretty much. The one thing I want to mention off the top, just a little thing to kind of make Kevin feel better.
Oh.
Robert Downey Jr. was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and the question came up, I should say, to Robert is if he would ever return to the character of Iron Man. And he said no.
Good.
He said that the character, he said he's done everything he possibly can with the character, and that he probably, unless there was some unimaginable thing that they came up with, but for the most part, no, he's done with it. Unless, they back up the dump truck with money or whatever. But he said he's got one more appearance as Iron Man in Black Widow. And then he's done with the character. And he says, he wants to do other things. He wants to move out and do other things. Which his first thing is not really doing that well.
No,
the
Doolittle trailer looked awful.
It looks like they're trying to recreate. To me, it looks like they're trying to redo like a Pirates of the Caribbean type deal.
Yeah.
And it just, but like real whimsical, like more whimsical than Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
And just, it looks not good.
2 more bombs and he'll be calling Kevin, hello?
Any
Iron Man
can we do Iron Man 4?
Right, and then he'll just be, the voice of the new AI.
Right.
So Kevin, who does not like Iron Man, who does not like Robert Downey Jr. portrayal of Iron Man, I figured that'd be a great way to start.
No, I like his portrayal. I just don't like the character in the first place.
I got you.
So
same. I don't either.
So
he portrays an asshole well. I just don't like the asshole.
Okay. So for now, the foreseeable future, no Iron Man in the movies anymore.
Well, no Robert.
No Robert.
Right.
No Robert. But they could always do, because I did in just a little touch up. Apparently, in the Iron Man comic, I read the first.
Right, number 1 came out, right?
Yeah, Iron Man 2020.
Right.
And I read half of it because I got bored. It was not good. But it's apparently in that world, it's revealed that that Tony has been the AI the whole time, and that the real Tony Stark is dead.
Oh.
And that he's living in a artificial body.
Wow.
This entire, even the one in Avengers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird about how they're going to do the whole thing with Avengers where he's stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Right. So it's what? The artificial body stuck?
That's what it was said in the new issue.
Your response was perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to have, like always, we're going to have some comics. We're going to have some TV and movie discussions. And we're going to end with a little bit of a bombshell that was revealed this week that we've all been, pretty much everybody's been talking about it.
Hell, podcasts have been revived.
Yeah.
For this.
It's true.
So stick to the end for that one, because it's probably going to be a pretty dominant discussion. But for now, let's just jump into some comics. I read The Rise of Kylo Ren #2. Anybody else read it?
I did.
You did read it?
Who? That's Charles Soule.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to give the creative team the shout outs. I always forget the artist. Who you have it there, Justin? Who is the artist?
Will Sliney.
There you go.
Well, Charles Soule right now is kind of like the keeper of the Star Wars.
Yeah, he is.
Right, at Marvel, because he's also doing the Star Wars comic now too as well. This book deals more
after Charles Soule did a phenomenal Vader run.
Yes, he did. And we're also getting a new Vader run too by
in March.
Greg Pak, I think.
That's cool.
I think it is March.
February.
Do we know any details? Like when is it taking place?
It's after Empire.
After Empire.
So before Jedi.
Yeah, but before Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vader in that era yet.
No, because we saw him right after he became Vader, and then we saw him right after New Hope.
Right.
And now, because right after he found out about Luke's existence,
right.
And now he's revealed himself to be Luke's father, and now he's dealing with the fallout of him, with all that.
Plus cutting his son's hands.
Yeah, but also his munitions from that against the Emperor and everything. For that.
True. Cool. So that's gonna be a really dark Vader story.
I think it will. I think it'll actually be, hopefully it'll be as good as the other two. The other two series were great.
Right.
I mean, they were just page turners. Those are the popular books of the week for us those were the ones we were most excited to read.
Yeah, it won't be Vader dealing with more replacements or more Inquisitors.
Right.
You get me? Like, it's cool to give him something to face off of, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of want just a,
Right.
thoughtful Vader book, just to be like, what's in the mind of this, half man, half machine.
Mm. So, Rise of Kylo Ren #2 is more backstory for Ben Solo before he becomes Kylo Ren, obviously. This book was good. I'm really digging this book. I was, and apparently a lot of other people are digging it too because it's really hard to find.
I'm digging it for it not being what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the lead up to the burning of the temple. But issue 1 starts with literally a moment after.
Yeah.
And it's not even the moment he's setting it on fire. It's a moment later where other Jedi have arrived.
Well,
and looking to see what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And then he just leaves. I'm like, wait, I thought we were going to see, the three-way, like a Kurosawa-esque story.
Yeah, but we still might. Because remember, this has got the flashbacks leading up.
True. With 2, it kind of calmed my nerves. I was like, bro, but I want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2, it does go back to, and we see the dynamic between him and Luke.
Yeah.
To me, that was really cool.
Yeah, because the dynamic between them is very much of, very overprotective master and a very outgoing apprentice. Because he really, like every apprentice in these stories, they always want to do more. I want to get out there. I want to do this.
Like Obi and Yoda.
Yeah, and then
Obi and Luke.
Yeah, and every master's like, no, you stay behind. You don't do anything. You stay safe. You stay safe. You stay safe. And I'm one. That probably leads more into the whole your family more than anything. You're also my apprentice, but you're also strong in the Force, but you're also my sister's kid. So I got to really be careful with you.
But there's still a sense of discipline because he doesn't call him uncle or Luke.
Master.
He refers to him as master.
Well, that's built-in Jedi terminology.
Right, but like how you're saying, like
I'm saying
Luke did not have the typical Jedi upbringing and learning.
No, but I'm saying in Luke's head, he's probably leaning more in that he's my apprentice, but also he's my sister's kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so being overprotective but disciplined.
Exactly. So this book starts out with in the present with Ben talking to Snoke in some kind of weird arboretum. And Snoke is dressed like some kind of golfer because he just looks like a weird golfer in this book. But he's still fucked up in the face, everything like that.
Well, it's not present.
Well, no, present for the book.
Right, present for the book of the time of after the setting the temple on fire.
The first issue set up where the present's going to be, which is right after the burning of the temple, and Ben's run off, and he wants to find in this book you find out he wants to find the Knights of Ren, which he had an encounter with years before.
Okay.
And then once he has the discussion with Snoke, who encourages him to go find the Knights of Ren, but he's like, I don't know where they're at. He's like, you'll find them. It does flash back to when Luke and Ben and their friend Lore, what's his name? Santaka?
Lore
Santaka.
From episode 7?
Okay. Who was Max von Sydow.
Right.
And that always struck me as weird because they always referred in the opening crawler that they said an old friend, and it's like, who's this supposed to be?
Right, and it's no one we know.
Yeah, so this illustrates that more. He's a friend of Luke's, and they're looking for in some kind of weird X-wing,
Y-wing,
B-wing, Y-wing hybrid, which is just odd. I didn't even notice the B-wing side of it. It looks more,
no, it's all 3. It is all 3.
So they're looking for this temple, and this old Jedi temple on
the first one. Is it? Or whatever. I mean,
no, they're looking for it because they're looking for insights on the old Jedi. They're looking for artifacts.
Okay, the Wayfinder.
No. It seems like in all these stories, that's what they're looking for. They're like the Jedi have accumulated all this technology. And the Sith have accumulated all this technology that only when new Jedi and new Sith emerge, you're like, we got to find all that old technology again and save it so nobody touches it.
Well, especially for Luke, because he's the only and last one, and he was taught, in a very unusual circumstances of literally being a dying ideology.
Yeah, I know, but Luke isn't the only one. It seems like every time we, like even in the far future, like with the old Dark Horse books,
yes,
when they did the stuff in the future, like way past the extended universe and everything, all that stuff, they still were looking for Jedi artifacts. It was just like that's all they ever looked for.
True.
But
right, even with Revan, he found Sith ruins.
Mm-hmm. But and this one actually had some nice Easter eggs in it too, because in addition to holocrons and stuff, they actually had the blaster rifle of Jocasta Nu from that issue with Darth Vader, where she stuck her lightsaber in and it became a huge blaster.
Nice.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. But of course, when they find all that stuff in a Jedi temple, and the Jedi temple, obviously because it's a Jedi temple, there's a dark side element to it.
Of course.
The Knights of Ren are there, and this is back in the past when Ben is still a young apprentice to Luke Skywalker. And the Knights of Ren,
they have a leader named Ren.
Yes.
Who is not in the movies that we have seen now.
No, because I'm assuming this book is going to tell us why. Because Kylo Ren takes over as leader of the Knights of Ren, so I'm assuming he probably displaces this guy.
Yeah. But I like how Luke puts them in their place, and like they're calling him like old man, Jedi of like the old ways and stuff like that. But the way he describes their usage of the Force, that it's just like a brute force.
Mm-hmm.
Like they use it like a hammer.
Yeah, they don't have any understanding or finesse with it.
They don't even call it the Force.
But they don't. But the thing is, for Luke though, he has it, but they don't even realize what kind of finesse he has with it because it's been so long since anybody's seen.
Exactly.
Right.
Because even in The Mandalorian, which is around, not at the same time, but around this time, they haven't heard of Jedi. Remember, they had to tell him, wizards from, called Jedi. So they've already passed into legend.
Right. No, this is even after.
This is after.
But I'm saying it's in this time frame.
Right. Yeah, where it's still not established again in the galaxy.
Mm-mm. So Luke is, he's like, I'm going to take care of all this. And then he's telling everybody, you got to leave. And then, again, you got him, you old fool. And then Ben even steps forward and says, you don't even know who you're dealing with. This is Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
Uh-huh.
And he is a legend. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm Ren. These are the Knights of Ren, and we're legendary. And Ren, the leader of the Knights of Ren, pulls a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
The only one with a lightsaber.
Yes.
Right, because they all have just melee weapons. Right?
Yeah.
Like
So, I'm hoping the book continues to explore them a little bit more. I want to know, why does he have a lightsaber if they don't know the ways of the Force or the Sith?
But that, to me, is not real interesting. Well, I shouldn't say interesting. That is interesting, but I don't have a problem with that because I had read a story a long time ago, and again back into the Dark Horse days of Star Wars. It was in the Tales of the Star Wars Tales, where it was Vader versus Boba Fett, and Vader comes across Boba Fett, and in the middle of the fight, it's Boba Fett firing his blaster, and Vader obviously being very good, and in the middle of the fight, Boba Fett pulls a lightsaber. He's like, you don't think I haven't been able to? You haven't fought a Jedi before and won? You're not the only one with a lightsaber. So it's like, it doesn't seem to me like these guys might have gotten the drop on somebody who didn't understand, wasn't as powerful or whatever, and stolen a lightsaber.
Yeah, like Grievous.
What's more interesting though is that it's red.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And the fact that to be red, you have to pour your hatred into to corrupt the Kyber crystal. So either they know enough to do that,
or they kill the Sith.
Right.
He did at least.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Because again, he's the only one with
in this book. He doesn't display Force powers, right? He just
because Luke wipes the floor with all of them. Because even
using just the Force, he doesn't even hit him.
No, because much like in Last Jedi. Because in this one, because they're going to fight, and then he's Ben protect Lars Sataka, and he's like, Master, what about you? And he's like, oh, I'll be fine. And he wipes the floor with him. He doesn't even do anything.
So why are these guys legendary if every time we see the Knights of Ren they get whooped?
I'm with you on that one.
JJ.
Everybody sits there and talk. They're like, "Oh, the Knights of Ren, the Knights of Ren." They've already. It's almost like the Boba Fett. Up to it's like, oh, the Knights of Ren. It's like, what have we seen them do?
Nothing.
We haven't seen them do anything.
Getting whooped.
But apparently, because of their guilt by association, because Kylo Ren trades up with them, oh, there's something big. It's like whatever.
They are good at walking through hallways.
They look cool. I love how it's all over Twitter. And it's showing me and my boys coming into, I don't know, the club or whatever. And it's the gif of just them turning that
Kevin
corner.
And his people at his wedding. They were watching.
My favorite one was me and my boys walking out of Rise of Skywalker. That's my favorite one.
So Luke wipes the floor with him. He's talking about, it's like, you're clumsy, untrained, you use the dark side like a hammer, but the light side is a blade, and so am I. And then and he's just fucking them all up.
Right.
And they're all fucking taken down. He's like, you guys had enough. And he's like, we still got our numbers. And then because they've got blasters and spears.
Oh,
he's
wow.
like, and he pulls them out of their hand and destroys them with the Force. So
it's a cool thing to know. Young Ben here has a blue lightsaber. We never saw that in the movies. We never saw his.
He pulled it.
When did we see his?
When you see the flashback when Luke's standing over him,
right,
and he's got that look, like demented.
Right in the flashback. I mean, in present day in the stance of the movies.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we don't know what happened to that saber.
But no, we do. It became the red one.
Right.
It's the same hilt.
Yeah.
It's just got the side pieces on it.
Right.
It's the exact same. Because if you look at the lightsaber it's in Galaxy's Edge right now. It's the Ben Solo lightsaber. It's an exact replica of the Kylo Ren, except it's not painted black. It doesn't have the two side pieces.
Correct.
And there's like one red wire coming out of it that's missing. It's actually
which we see in Force Awakens clearly.
Yeah. So he corrupted that lightsaber to be.
Right.
Which is interesting because the lightsaber is like unstable. Because that was the one thing you see with that lightsaber is very unstable. But the lightsaber that he had was a lightsaber was pure.
Yeah.
So when he tried to corrupt that crystal, something happened. Yeah. And that probably leads to like the whole he still had good in him and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I kind of actually really, really like that symmetry there.
Yeah. So now he had gotten rid of the lightsaber that Ren had in his hand. And now he starts talking about, he's like, I tell you, this blade wasn't easy to get. If you want it, you'll have to take it. You probably can. You're strong. That's obvious. But before you try, there's something you should know. And then it's like this huge red lightsaber as well. And it's got a kill switch on it. So it's like, this blade leaves my hand, it blows. And it takes you, me, and the kid and your old friend with it. So basically what he's saying is it's a dead man switch.
Right.
So...
That's weird. I don't know of any character that had something similar to that.
There was another Jedi with like a spear type lightsaber, but not with a kill switch, because that looks like a spear. And there was one in the Old Republic that he had a really long blade.
To me, that's like a Sith would be that petty. That like, you take my saber, we're all going down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it looks.
But cool. They know that they're over. They know that the Knights of Ren know. That
they suck.
That they're overmatched here, that they're not going to win. So they retreat. They're like, look, we're going.
Yeah.
Just know that I beat you because I have the upper hand at this point. But there's nothing I can do, so we're going to go.
Right.
But before he leaves...
He's like, we sent something in your kid back there.
Mm-hmm. It's like he's got a little piece of the dark side in him, too. And he starts talking to the kid. He takes his mask off first. And apparently this reveal might mean something. I don't know, but it means nothing to me. So I don't know why they did close up the guy's face.
It looks like Magneto.
Kind of, yeah.
I thought Magneto, but like with the big mouth and jaw line, it looked like Gary Busey to me. And it ruined it. I was like, now I think all the Knights of Ren are Gary Busey just talking
They
nonsense.
act like him.
Yeah.
They all fell off motorcycles and had brain damage.
Yeah.
So he takes off his mask. He starts talking to Ben completely. He's like, look, there are other ways to the Force, not just this one you've been following. He's like, in the future, if you want everyone to learn, look us up.
Right.
And then he drops the mask on the floor and leaves it, and then they go. And then it cuts back to the present day where Ben, after the temple burning, after talking to Snoke, he comes back to that same temple and the mask is still there. He puts it on, and immediately they're connected to the Knights. He's like, hey, kid, wondered if you were going to call us. He's like, here's where you can meet us. And he's like, we'll be there for a bit. And he tells him about Snoke. He's like, oh, all right, yeah, well, this is where we are. Come meet us.
To me, it's a cool moment, but I had to think really realistically. I'm like, then why did you have that mask and you just abandoned it for like a fucking decade? So
Right.
It wasn't really that important.
No.
It was cool looking.
He might have had a backup.
A backup mask?
Yeah.
It's like, in case
This one stinks. I'm going to wash this one later. I'm going to put the new one.
It is Gary Busey.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, takes the mask off, and then 3 other Jedi that were at the temple came to the temple. In the first book, they came to the temple after everybody had been and everybody had left.
pursued him.
Yeah. They're in after him. They find him at this temple, and that's where the book ends. It's a to be continued. But even here, you can see his lightsabers drawn.
He probably kills them.
Because you can see the hilt at the end there. Yeah, it's drawn like that. It's just missing those pieces that he obviously... And maybe we'll get that in here.
That'd be so cool.
Oh, him building the new one?
Yeah. Because even here, you've got the next issue, and it's got both of them standing.
Yeah.
So they got to make that lightsaber blade a little different.
A cool thing to differentiate, and it's funny because I don't recall the movies ever specifying that, and I think it was a tweet from Charles Soule. I believe, I don't hold me up against it. That when the burning of the temple, they call that that's Ben's turning point to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was no.
Well, yeah, that means
I would say his turning point was looking up and thinking that his master was going to kill him.
Right, betrayed him.
Right, they say that he was 23 when that happened.
Okay.
So then that's why I'm thinking, because he looks so young and short in the flashback with Luke. I'm thinking at least 8 to 10 years. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe he's 13, and that's why I said like the mask, the helmet being left behind was like a decade. Mm-hmm. I'm just imagining because
13.
Ben looks so young in the Luke flashback, and then in the burning of the temple, which is again, it's been dubbed that that's
10 years.
It's Ben's turning point to the dark side. That's what they're calling it, and he was 23 when he turned.
What? So I'm digging the series. It's a really
I like the art a lot.
Yeah, and it's a good insight. It's a great story. It's good insight into this world. It's actually kind of helps to fill out what we feel is all missing from the movies and everything.
Especially after Rise of Skywalker.
What JJ failed to put in.
Yeah.
So
after he's the one that set it up.
So it's it's a good way to calm down. You're like, okay, we saw Rise of Skywalker. No matter how you feel about it, one way or another, these books kind of help to kind of wean you down off of. Okay, now we're moving into a non-Star Wars time.
It sucks because before 8 came out, there was a huge rumor that the Knights of Ren went to Ahch-To and fought Luke.
That's funny
on Ahch-To, but they cut it because they didn't want to. So I'm like, oh, that would have been cool, but this is before I knew that they all suck. They're all garbage.
No, but if you remember,
there was actual
footage, because if you remember in Force Awakens, you have Kylo Ren watching the burning temple with the Knights of Ren.
No, right, but they find him and Rey on Ahch-To while he's training Rey, and the Knights.
I was thinking of a different plan.
The Knights of Ren attack Luke, and Luke just wipes the floor with them. Okay. Supposedly, Force pushes one off the mountain.
Yeah, you're
again like 2 decades later.
Right. So I'm like, but back then I was like, oh shit, this would be cool. But now I'm like, you guys are jokers.
But to correct you, Justin, you don't see the Knights of Ren with Kylo seeing the burning of the temple. It's a rainy environment. Mm-hmm. That's Kylo as the head of the Knights of Ren.
But you see something burning in the background.
No. It's not the temple. It's like 2 different scenes. I mean, hell, he's older and with the Knights of Ren. Yeah. I mean, not older, but more mature, I guess.
Sure.
And he's got the Kylo helmet, doesn't he?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I just always assumed that was
unless in that planet fucking fire doesn't extinguish.
Hey, could be
that shit just fucking keeps burning.
Environment.
That shit just burns for fucking years. Oh, man, Joe, Jesus Christ.
It doesn't stop.
The thoughts of the Power Ranger of Red doesn't affect the thoughts of the show.
No.
Okay, so
speaking of Joe,
what's up?
You read?
Come on, let's talk about the crossover because I know Justin's not on it. Where are you?
I didn't read it.
He hates both. He hates the Turtles and the Power Rangers.
I've never said either one of those things. I actually like the Turtles and the Power Rangers. It's beyond me. It's moved past me. So I just.
What's your favorite turtle?
Raphael. Come on, what are we talking about here?
Raphael is the best turtle.
But here's the thing: I like the Power Rangers, but I like the original. And I know this is the original Power Rangers.
The original.
But once on the TV show, once Power Rangers moved beyond and became all this other bullshit, I checked out.
Yeah. As did I like around like Zeo.
Same.
Or whatever.
But I will say, I wish I had read the Shattered Grid story that you guys were talking about. That sounded when we were talking about that. That just sounded fucking amazing.
It was.
And
it's coming back. I think Dragon. He's coming back.
If that's ever brought like a video, like a movie or like a series thing or something, that'd be amazing.
It would be.
Yeah.
So dope. At least an animated movie.
So this crossover that we're talking about, because we haven't said the whole time.
Sorry,
it is exactly. It's the most uncreative thing. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers / Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Issue 2.
Issue 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we already saw issue 1 whereas apparently Angel Grove and New York are like around each other.
Yeah, it's like Gotham and Gotham and Metropolis. They're across the bay.
In BVS, I saw it.
What?
I'm sorry.
Breaking news while we're recording.
This has nothing to do with anything. I just like poking fun at Kevin about this because he doesn't like this guy.
So yeah.
Taika Waititi might be directing a Star Wars movie, and I just think it's fine.
Oh.
Going on. Go ahead. Moving on.
So we last left off with the Turtles and Rangers fighting each other.
Right, but then finally they're like, "All right, hey,
we'll stop.
You know, why are what is it? Finster's monsters are getting really lazy."
Yeah,
and they're like, "Hey, well, watch what you call us. What's the name calling?
We're not monsters."
And then I like how I think it's Donatello. He's actually a fan of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, he liked their outfits. Was it him or Mikey that commented on Tommy's flute? He's like, "Oh, how do you blow through the flute with a helmet on?" That was
all those comments is what made me really love this fucking these.
No,
these
but here where they stop fighting, they finally reveal themselves to the turtles. They go, "We'll show our faces," but when they go back to the lair, I don't know why the Rangers think that seeing Master Splinter is crazy. Like, oh, that's weird. You guys fight monsters on a weekly basis,
right?
Why is Splinter weird?
But I like the way it goes about it. Like when they're just talking, and Zach is like, "Are we just gonna ignore the giant rat in the corner?"
Yeah. They fight big pumpkins.
So I love how like after they've met and they're like, okay, we're here, you know, the Power Rangers we're here for Tommy,
right?
Who's in the Foot Clan,
right?
And then we get to why that he's trying to help a friend who fell in with the wrong crowd, but the wrong crowd is not these guys, you know, shoplifting, you know, at a fucking mall or whatever. Right. This is the fucking Foot Clan, like a terrorist fucking organization,
right? And then his friend turns him into Shredder.
Yeah, but I kind of like it where he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in years," and I was like, "Damn, what a weird loyal friend Tommy is."
Right.
Fucking years of not being a friend, but all of a sudden he's bound to leave his current friends to save him.
Right.
I kept thinking, I'm like, how does he know he fell into this?
Right. If he hasn't talked to him in so long.
Right. So it's like, is there like Foot Clan Twitter? Like, is there like a community?
He has a beeper, and he beeped for him.
Oh God. But I love how immediately after that, like you get the couplings. You get you know a Power Ranger and a Ninja Turtle coupled together, and my favorite one has to be Zach and Mikey. Because they're just fighting Foot Clan soldiers, and they're talking about their favorite foods, and it's the best.
Right.
Let me see if Joe could find that part. But I like how Kimberly hangs out with April in order to triangulate for the most to triangulate the Foot Clan lair by trying to find the most Foot Clan activity.
Okay. Right, but they're in the Technodrome, so they gotta find that because Shredder's in the Technodrome.
Right, but they don't know where.
Right.
So Technodrome moves.
Yeah,
correct. It moves everywhere. I like how April's drawn. I like how the turtles. And them fight, and then they find Karai, and Karai's, you know, she's Shredder's daughter. Mm-hmm. She'll never talk.
Is that after the Zach and Mikey thing?
Yeah, right after.
Yeah, but I just want to tell Justin what are the foods how's that dialogue go? Because I find it so funny.
He likes jelly beans, onions, and butterscotch.
And Mikey's like, that's the breakfast of champions. Right. And then, but just before that, because Joe's jumping around a little bit, Zach is like, oh man, I can have pizza on my pineapple. All the pineapple. I mean, I could have all the pineapple on my pizza. And Mikey's like, ew, pineapple? And even though I love it, I just thought his reaction was so genuine.
Of all the people that would say that, Mikey would be the last one.
Right. And then he continues saying that weird, butterscotch breakfast thing.
Right, because they all throw weird shit on their pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously pineapple is
it's crossing the line.
Well, right. So yes, they're finding them on that rooftop, right?
But then another coupling that I really, really loved, Justin and Joe, is
Raph and Trini.
Raph and Trini's great, but my favorite one is because I'm a nerd. It has to be Donnie. Billy and Donnie.
Okay.
Billy and Donnie, Billy is literally tinkering with all of Donnie's things, and Donnie's just showboating, yeah, I got a robot. He goes, oh yeah, I have 2 of those. And he goes, oh, I got this whatever thing, anti-gravity, whatever, and he goes, it basically just shrinks things.
Right.
And Billy's like, huh, that's impressive. That's it. Like, I love how like Billy's so downplaying everything that Donnie's throwing.
Weird, because Donnie wants to see the Megazord.
Yeah,
and he has a Zord. I mean,
but I forgot what they bond over. They bond over some invention. I forgot what it was. Same. And he goes, "Oh, you should come back to Angel Grove with us, and we should combine our smarts."
Rocket powered skateboard.
Yeah, something so obscene. Like, what the fuck? Right. Why would that catch Billy's attention?
Yeah, really? Of all the things?
And he's like, "Oh, you could try out the Megazord." He goes, "Me? Try out one of your giant robots?"
Yeah. Whoa.
To me, the crossover is awesome because it's literally my inner like 5 and 6 year old is just freaking out over these two franchises coming together, and they're also fans of each other freaking out coming together. And to me, that's awesome. And what beats that on top of that is the art is amazing. The art is beautiful. It's Simone de Mont.
I like how the turtles drawn here better than DC drew them with the Batman crossover.
So I was going to say,
the Freddie Williamson, the third.
Which is better, this or the Batman one?
This
is better?
This. I've actually read, I've read both of them. Yeah, I agree with Joe. Cool. This is better. Because this looks more like Saturday morning cartoon.
Correct.
It literally brings back that feeling.
Right.
Oh, all right.
So Karai doesn't want to give up her dad. And they got her cornered. She leaves. Then we cut to the guy. So Shredder finds out Tommy's like
a Green Power Ranger.
No, well, he finds out that he's like a mole or whatever. So
because the guy
him.
Yeah.
Right, so the guy snitches him out. So Tommy's like, "Oh, you have me in prison. I'll morph." So he morphs, but for some reason in that cage, Shredder has this machine where it could demorph him, power him off, so the powers go away.
Okay.
How? No idea.
I have no idea with disabilities.
But the only explanation he gives, he goes, "Oh, I have friend in high places like Dimension X."
Right.
That's it. That's the only thing.
So it clicked in my head that Dimension X technology would do this.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, fine. Because, Krang could do this. So then Shredder's like, "Thank you for showing me how to morph." And he takes his morpher, and Shredder morphs into the new Green Ranger. Which I also like. It ties back to Rita, because this comic book is alluding to the fact that Rita was the original Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Because she could feel when the power transfers. So she feels that the power transfers.
Yeah, like a disturbance in the force.
Right. But in the power in the grid.
That sounds cool. I like that.
Disturbance in the grid.
Yeah.
Morphing grid.
Right, so
Get
she
your
feels
shit together, man.
Because she's always said my coin, my powers. So she's always referred to it that way. So she feels that it went back to someone evil, and she wants to know who, because she doesn't know about Shredder yet. And then, but Shredder goes to the moon with Bebop and Rocksteady.
No, other way around. They go to where Shredder is.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Right,
because she feels it, and she's like, "Okay, whatever, let's go." And they go through a portal. They end up in
her and Goldar
in I guess New York, because that's where the turtles are.
And
then they bond. Her, Goldar, and Finster, and then who's the other one?
The two that they don't really do anything. The Bat and the little
those guys. I forget their names.
They never do anything.
Yeah,
but Bebop and Rocksteady should mop the floor with them. But Goldar should be whooping everybody here.
But I like how Rita confronts Shredder. She goes, "You have something that's mine."
Right.
Read that part. I think you have it there in front of you.
Go ahead.
No, you have it in front of you. You read it.
I like how you do it. She's like, basically, I don't care who you are. The Dragon Coin's mine. Return it. And then he's like, no. And then he morphs in front of her.
I love how he completely disregards her anyway.
Yeah, he morphs in front of her. What does he say to her? Well, if you want your coin, you'd have to go through me.
Yeah,
or come take it from me.
And then I think I posted it on the Rogue Nation podcast Instagram.
You did.
The green, Shredder Power Ranger is. That design is so fucking sick.
I need a pop or a figure like today. But I don't understand how he could morph. Because it's supposed to basically choose you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already chosen Tommy. So I don't know how...
To me, that line of I have friends in places like Dimension X, I just immediately took it as that. I'm like, okay, whatever.
He looks better than Tommy does.
Yeah, he looks sick. He looks really intimidating.
And he's a real karate master. He'll mop the floor with Tommy.
Fuck yeah.
So, and Jason. Because to me, Jason's better, but he would beat the shit out of both of them. But that's where Tommy's the Green Ranger.
But I want to give a shout out to the creative team. Go to the front. Or I think, Justin, did you have it pulled up there?
Yeah.
Because it's the same team of Mighty Morphin.
Ryan Perrett and Simone DeMille.
Simone DeMille. Yep. Simone DeMille has been so fucking amazing on the previous, on Mighty Morphin and on this crossover.
Right.
Because those designs are so sick.
I like the turtles.
And then Dan Moore on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Moore, man, that's the dude.
Yeah, I really didn't like the DC turtles. These turtles are amazing.
Oh, the bat. When they cross over.
Really
It's funny because I liked the story.
Yeah, these covers are good. Cool.
I dug the story of when they crossed over with Batman, but yeah, the art was just, I don't know what it was, man. It was
too
weird.
Cartoony.
Not only too cartoony, but like the colors were rough. Like they almost look like stone. It's weird.
The turtles, and they were too bulky.
Yeah,
way bulky, and their heads looked like. Yeah, I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Because they're slicker. They look like turtles. Like he's saying, they look like big rocks.
Yeah, and I like how I think I haven't told you that, Justin. I like how the turtles look distinctive.
Yes.
So Raph is clearly the taller turtle. Mikey is a little chubbier, and all their bandanas look different.
Right, like Mikey's look like a wrestler mask.
Yeah,
like
it's
funny.
funny.
All right.
Yeah,
it's really funny. And Leo's looks like it covers like half a head.
I see what you're saying.
So there's like a distinction amongst the turtles. I really, really like that.
Same.
Okay.
It kind of contradicts because Donnie's supposed to be the taller turtle.
Right, but to me,
whatever.
Raph being that, I'm okay with this.
Right. And Raph in the old comics would have the whole covering. He would have like a bandana on him. But I'm fine with it. It's a good book. It's a good one.
To me, it's great so far. I love it.
Yeah,
I've recommended it to anyone who's a fan of either franchise.
Read it. It's dope. And the regular Mighty Morphin is doing fucking great.
I need to jump back on that because
Yes,
this is literally getting me like more hyped. And I'm like, man, I kind of want
Just
more.
go back to Necessary Evil.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Because the last issue was good. Sir.
So now the big book of the week.
So the big book of the week, X-Force number 5.
I've been really consistently liking X-Force because it seems to be the most like in this new, X rebranding of Dawn of X, bringing back the mutant books. X-Force has been kind of bringing back that old tone of like it's the most adult, like the Rick Remender run. Like it's bringing back the violence, dark, and it's really adult.
And
man.
It's pairing it with this artist that's just fucking so good for this book.
Yeah, it feels horror-esque.
Yeah, it does.
Especially with all the plant-based stuff and the weaponry and like the way Krakoa is drawn on X-Force by this artist. But I don't know if you have the credits there, Justin.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin Percy, Joshua Casario.
Yeah, Benjamin Percy is the writer, and who's the artist?
Joshua Casario.
Casario. Mad props to him, man, because he really brings the island to life, and it's sick.
Yeah, and he's really good at so like in this book with the whole. Remember, because in the beginning of the last issue or the end of last issue, they just step through the Krakoa portal and they blow it. So Quentin Quire gets his head cut off, and Wolverine gets his torso cut off. So they're both
so nuts.
They're on the other, but Wolverine, being Wolverine, he's still alive. So
he still kills some people before they take him down.
Yeah, and they even. But here's the thing: you think, okay, they're gonna rebirth him, but no, because later on in the book, Force shows up with the rest of his body because he used Gateway to get there, and he just slams them together. And he's like, "Here, heal up." Like, even after they fuck up Wolverine really good because they shoot him up and everything like that.
They shoot him to hell, man.
Yeah, and he's still like, no, your body's
Bro,
fine.
look at that panel.
Yeah.
This is a Marvel book.
Yeah.
That looks like a zombie. Eesh.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing I'm getting really tired of, though, and I'm really hoping they dissolve it, is these pages of exposition. These long-winded paragraphs. I'm like, all right, this is a comic book.
I don't mind it, but I get what you're about to mean. It's that it's information that we could have been shown.
Yeah,
right.
Like I don't need to be like mansplained this stuff. I really don't. It's just Marvel-splained. Yeah, I don't. Show me. It's a comic book. I'm supposed to be able to. You can put this into dialogue. You can put this somewhere. You don't have to give me a 5 paragraphs, 2 pages of bullshit. You can just tell me. You can just show me, rather. So, but this book was great. I mean, it's continuing the book even further. You've got these terrorists trying to take over the Greenpeace place where they're doing good work for Wolverine and
there's even some human scientists there.
Yeah, and they go in. They even through this whole book they talk even more about the whole don't kill humans thing. because they're like, oh, we can't kill them. They're humans. Like, they're not human. Domino, who's pissed because they carved their flesh off, is like, they're not humans. They were created and they were created, so they're fair game.
Yeah, which is the assassins on the island that kills Xavier.
Yeah.
So we already know that they're like literally like modified, not even modified humans. They're like engineered.
Right.
Yeah, but there's one guy who they're fighting because Beast has got to like really overdo it to get Domino to not kill everybody.
Yeah.
And then finally,
he's like, we need one alive.
We need one alive, exactly.
Because in some other issue, the one that they had alive, some mysterious figure killed him.
Mm-hmm. Somebody on the island.
On the right.
Yeah, exactly. So there's somebody hidden in the ranks. But they bring him back and you find out, no, he is actually human. He's a mercenary. He was hired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and they're questioning him. They're like, what is this? He's like, I don't know. They bring Jean Grey into it. And she's got to scan his head. And he's like, I don't know. But he's like, he had a peacock tattoo. And then you finally get that last image of the guy who started this whole thing with Domino. So.
Yeah, from that, what was that cabal called?
Oh, I forget what it's
called.
It. Here, I can look it up. It's in. Wait.
Fuck. It even ends like issue, I think 3 or 4, where it's like, we are. Damn it, what were they called?
I got it. We are Xeno.
What is it?
Xeno or
Xeno.
Yeah, Xeno.
Which is funny because they're essentially xenophobic.
Right.
But yeah. But what I'm thinking is interesting. They keep talking about how he's got this peacock tattoo, and if you look at it, yeah, he's got it on his hand, but then his coat shirt, his coat sleeve, has got the peacock design on it.
Right?
Is that like? Does he do that to all his outfits?
Right. And then that mask thing there is very reminiscent of the Court of Owls from DC. I wonder, like, is it going to be a character we know?
I don't know anything about this, but isn't there like a character from anime that's got a mask like that, where it's all
something? Yeah,
it's all orange or something with like one hole in it. I don't know anything.
I know what you're thinking. No, I know what you're thinking. It looks like Vega from Street Fighter.
No, not him.
Well, to me it does. It looks like Vega.
No, I see what you're saying.
Hero Academia, isn't that the guy?
No, I thought it was Naruto.
Right. It was one hole.
I don't know.
It don't matter.
It looks like the Court of Owls mask.
I don't. It does look like the Court of Owls mask. It does, so that's a pretty good reference. But that's not, for some reason. And I've never watched Naruto. I only know vague things about it.
Same, either.
Which is mostly images. I don't really know anything about the story. But for some reason, when I see that mask, the other mask that I'm thinking of pops into my head. That's what comes into mind.
Yeah, this is why we need George on.
Yeah, George needs to be here. George.
He's too busy Instagramming. He can't help me.
This one?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like an orange mask.
I'm trying to see if I can get a name. Toby's? Obitos? I don't know.
Obitos. Highly.
Yeah, I don't
know. Yeah, look at that.
There's like different renditions too, so it makes it even more complicated.
Yeah, but that's the mask I keep thinking of whenever I see that mask. So.
All right, so that was comics.
Yeah, the book's good. It's just continuing that story, you know.
It's still early in the year, so that's why it's like our pull lists seem slow.
Yeah, this last week it was only 2 or 3 issues. Yeah. So, but the X-Force fight. I mean, the only really things you need to know is Domino's kind of still pissed.
Yeah.
You have Ford. We didn't even talk about how Ford showed up. And he had like a huge fucking mech, like that was made from the
tree.
Yeah, from Krakoa. That
like a Groot mech.
Yeah, and he was fucking killing people with or hurting people with that thing. But yeah, it ended with them questioning the mercenary on Krakoa, and when they questioned him, he revealed the guy with the peacock. So they now have an image to go with it. So that's comics. We're gonna jump into some
trailers.
Movie trailers. We had some over the past couple of weeks. We had a couple of new ones pop up that we're gonna discuss. The New Mutants trailer came out, the newest one.
Finally, did it get is it gonna get a theatrical release?
I think so. Yeah.
Or maybe Disney Plus.
No, it would be Hulu.
It would be right.
Because all Fox stuff supposedly is going to Hulu and not Disney Plus.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I can't recall now if that's confirmed.
Because they said that the X-Men stuff
is coming onto Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Right, all the X-Men movies.
Yeah. Because even Fantastic Four is coming to Disney.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Please.
So to be honest with you, I really wasn't interested in this movie at all.
Same.
And then I saw this trailer, and they started naming people. And once I saw that they were using the original names for the people, I was like, I kind of got mildly interested in it because to me, the other trailers, it just looked like random people. Oh, these are mutants. And
I know Illyana at least, and Wolfsbane.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because I knew Macy Williams from Game of Thrones fame was playing Wolfsbane.
Well, I didn't know that.
And I knew Anya Taylor-Joy from Split, Glass, The Witch, and other stuff. I knew she was going to be Illyana. And she looked it. Like she had the bangs, the long blonde hair. She looked like Illyana.
I only saw
but I was worried about the accent because you don't hear her speak in the first or original trailers. From that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So my only thing is that so you've got somebody playing Rain, Wolfsbane. You got Maisie Williams playing Rain. You got somebody playing Magic who wasn't on the original New Mutants. She didn't come into the second iteration.
Correct.
But you have somebody playing Sam Guthrie, who's Cannonball, which is one of my favorite characters. And you have somebody playing Bobby Costa, who's Sunspot. Right. And then you have somebody playing Moonstar. Or Moondragon? Moonstar. Dana Moonstar, yeah. Moondragon is
Guardians character.
Yeah. So but the Sam Guthrie thing has me worried because...
He better be flying.
That's the thing. Because in the trailer... Because they don't call him Cannibal. Everybody, if you look on the IMDb page, everybody has a code name except him. He's just Sam Guthrie.
Nope.
And in the comics, he's Cannonball, which means he has a concussive force that he can expel out of his body to make him fly through the air, and it makes him invulnerable while he's flying.
Right.
I don't know how this movie is supposed to be horror, so it's supposed to be real small and self-contained. So I'm really worried that they're changing his powers to fit the movie.
Right, to make it smaller and more horror-based.
Yeah, so that is the thing that got me worried.
To me, it explains why having Wolfsbane and Magic, which is Illyana.
Mm-hmm. If you look at the trailer, she has the sword, too, which I thought was cool.
So I geeked out over that because it's an actress that an up-and-coming actress that I'm really respecting. I love her. I think she's really good. And then playing Magic, who's a character that we all know and love. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's awesome. I thought that was awesome.
And then you have the guy playing Sunspot, who has to turn in with the dark, and he has to do that, or he's not Sunspot.
Right.
But I'm curious, because Sunspot, when he was introduced, I don't remember if he was... he eventually joined up with Gideon.
Right.
And they became a thing for a long time, so I'm wondering if they might introduce that character in this movie, to kind of... But the one thing for sure that they're going to do is they said this movie will be the last interpretation of James McAvoy as Xavier. So he's going to have some part in this movie.
Okay.
And is Wolfsbane going to...
Is she going to wolf out?
Yeah. Right.
And is she going to have the huge fucking poof?
Right.
So then now that...
Which I don't care if she does.
But now hearing that about the James McAvoy thing, so what year would this be taking place?
Who knows?
We all know that Fox played around with their time.
Already one thing is messed up for me, though, is they have Cecilia Reyes in this movie.
The doctor.
Yeah. She never had a code name, but in the comics, she was always portrayed as a reluctant mutant, where she was more of a doctor than a mutant. Like, she never really... Even when they kept using her over and over again, she said she never wanted to be involved. She was like, look, I'm a doctor. I'm not a freedom fighter. This is what I do. Mm-hmm. And they just kept pulling her in. In this movie, they seem to have switched her, and now she's kind of some kind of sinister doctor.
Right, like experimenting on mutants. But I mean, for all we know, maybe her intentions are good, and she's trying to find a cure.
Maybe. I don't know. But I will say this: I'm more intrigued now than I was before. Before I could care when it was just like, oh, it's a mutant movie with horror. I don't really care.
Right.
Now I'm a little more interested. So
I cared before. Now I'm interested. Mm-hmm. Like before, I cared. I'm like, I'll see that.
Well, I'm not a horror guy, so you're a horror.
I am. Yeah. But I was scared because I was more in the Joe camp of like, it's Fox. It's gonna be fucking horrible.
Yeah. Well, I'm still in that camp. I'm just more interested.
But I'm glad it caught all of our interest a little bit more. Joe, did it at least catch more of your interest? Cool.
But if they don't use these powers right, then no. Right. If it's just a bunch of group of kids of getting scared or some running from this lady, it's gonna be boring.
Well, if it's even that and it's some random mutants, I wouldn't mind that. But if it's these names and they're not behaving like how we know them, then it was all for nothing.
Well, this is an interesting take on this. I don't know if this is what's going to happen or not. But remember, mutant powers trigger in moments of intense fear and anxiety, stuff like that. So I'm wondering if the experimentation that's being done is the experimentation on how a mutant becomes a mutant, and that the scaring, this being a horror, them trying to induce their mutant abilities.
Right, and to trigger the
mutations. Right. That would be an interesting take. I would dig that. I think that would be fun to watch. Because they're like, we can tell from your blood work that you're a mutant for whatever reason, or maybe Xavier. I don't know. It would have to be a long shot to tell who a mutant is before they're a mutant, because that's always been the saving grace of mutants, is the fact that nobody knows until not even Xavier,
right?
Until the mutation, until it activates. So maybe they have a group of people that they did do that to, and these are the ones that have weaned out of it, and now they've put him into a situation to see what they can do.
But do you want to see 2 acts of a group of high school kids just getting tortured until something happens?
Me personally, no. Horror fans, probably yes.
Even as a horror fan, I was like, I would like to see that in a scene. Maybe 2, if it's 2 very different activations and scares. Right. But if that's the entire premise of this asylum, then it's like, then how are you profitable? How are you paying for the lights? Like, it's gonna make my brain hurt. I'm like, how is this working then?
This is gonna be Saw X-Men.
Yeah, you think too much about it.
Yeah,
X-Men edition of Saw.
So next up, we have the new Black Widow trailer, the one with Taskmaster in it.
The new one,
the newest one.
It's essentially shit we already saw. The only new thing is the Taskmaster stuff.
Yes.
So that's essentially all we need to talk about.
Looks good. Liked it. Still kind of bummed that they're not using the correct mask, but
that's still one of his masks, the tactical mask.
Oh, I don't. All I know is the skull.
No. I was afraid of if they use the skull. I thought it was going to look too silly if it was going to be a skull, and then I was afraid people were going to be comparing it to Red Skull. But this mask that looks Skull-esque, it looks almost vaguely like Terminator, like a T-800 almost.
Okay.
But like smoother, I'm okay with it.
But he does use that mask.
But then now it begs the question. Like, I'm not in the camp of people complaining about the hoodie.
No,
I think it looks cool aesthetically, but functionality wise, it makes no fucking sense. If they're trying to go for like this grounded look or this grounded take of
Taskmaster, it has to be with a cape and cowl, not just the tactical.
Right, but just think of tactically, it makes no sense to have a cape and cowl.
Yeah.
You get me for this kind of character in this world.
But okay. But what I do like is that it seems like they are playing up the mimicking. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, because when he gets up at the same time
like her,
just like her, it's
just
so
like
good.
And that's his main powers.
I know, but they didn't try to change it. They actually are doing the character justice, is what I. Because remember, sometimes they like to play.
100%, right? True.
But what I told these guys here, one of the things that I'm most excited for, though, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, is Red Guardian. The more I see of him, the more I'm excited to see more of him, Because he looks like he's going to be kind of an oafish type character, but still know how to fight and everything like that. So,
that's March, right? Or
David Harbour. Jesus.
Yeah.
I was killing me that I couldn't remember his name.
And it looks like you're going to get 3 widows in this movie, because you're going to get Rachel Weisz as a widow. You're going to get, obviously, Scarlett Johansson as a widow, and you're going to get Florence Pugh as a widow as well.
I'm liking these crazy fan theories that Pugh will die, killing these fan theories of her being the next Black Widow, which makes no sense because this is a prequel. This is before Infinity War even, and that the Rachel Weisz character might be Taskmaster. Like it might be like a Mandarin thing of like she'll be revealed as the Taskmaster all along.
Oh,
and I'm like, I'm okay with that. I mean, kind of sucks to just change that character like that, but I think it has to be played up well.
But here's the thing:
because if it's played up and like a betrayal for like that family unit that's set up in the trailer, I think that would be cool if it's something tragic.
It's an interesting take, but it would also negate the whole mimicking abilities thing, because then that could be played off as, the reason why they're jumping up the thing is because they were trained the same.
Right, and I don't want it to be that.
Yeah.
I would hate it if it's that.
Yeah.
I would. Because you're misusing Taskmaster for nothing.
Yeah, Taskmaster's a good character.
Right.
It would be safe
to say. You can plug him into anything. Yeah. Almost anything.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I like.
But here's the thing:
I like the discussion people are having. I was like, how the fuck is he able to have like a shield like Cap? It's like, so then now at some point you have to explain, when did he ever come across Captain America?
Well, he doesn't have the shield because of Captain America.
He could. It's just, remember, in this world, the only famous shield wielding hero we know of or person is Cap.
But doesn't Red Guardian have one?
Correct.
So wouldn't it be?
We don't see him with a shield.
He has one
in the trailer.
Red with a star.
Yeah,
in the trailer though.
Oh, I don't.
But
I don't remember one in the trailer.
But it doesn't mean it's not in there.
Right.
So
right. No, I'm with you. But if it's not in the trailer, I'm not thinking of it as like that's common knowledge. It's not common knowledge.
But it could
it's
be
not
that the reason why he's got the shield in the movie is because of Red Guardian, not Cap.
Cool. Fine. If that, then cool. Then that shows
they had a meetup at
that
one point,
meetup in the trailer, which that's in the trailer, then that's cool.
I think he mimics fighting, not equipment. Just because you have a shield.
Yeah, but if your fighting style involves a shield, wouldn't you want to mimic that as well? Especially if it's effective.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I know we're trying to debunk this, but I mean, look at the way Cap uses it.
Yeah.
Cap uses it very...
I know. Yeah.
That's just a theory. I mean,
I would hate it if it's not the real Taskmaster. If it ends up being one of those
I agree.
I'll be like, fuck this.
I'd be bummed, but again, I kind of trust Marvel at this point. That if it's done well, fine.
Now, getting back to what you said about Florence Pugh, though, about how she dies, like they're saying that she dies because she can't be the next Black Widow because there's a prequel. There's nothing that says that they kind of go off in their own ways at the end of the movie, and then the post-credit scene is them coming to Florence Pugh and being like, "We need," or something to that effect, like, "We need you to be the new." Or her doing something and her taking over the mantle of Black Widow. That could be the post-credit scene after Infinity War.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I don't believe Florence Pugh would do that, but it is. We are in this age of like, every fucking actor is under some contract.
Most of these people, when they sign them, if they want them, they sign them for multiple movies.
Yeah,
it's not just one and done. Unless your name is so big that they really want you, and you're like, I don't know. It's like, all right, one and done, and then we'll take it from like
every villain at this point.
Well, yeah, but even who was a villain, but Robert Redford. You know, he came in, he was a one and done, and they just convinced him to come back.
He was cool.
Yeah, he was cool, but I mean, it's fucking Robert Redford. You don't sign Robert Redford for more than one movie. It just doesn't happen.
But I'm thinking about the whole Rachel Weisz thing.
She's a big enough name that I think.
No. I'm trying to explain the whole theory of someone's going to betray them for sure because this is a spy movie.
Yes.
True.
You got me? It's exactly how you brought up. Robert Redford betrayed S.H.I.E.L.D. because he was actually Hydra. And so did half of fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. But whatever.
Red Guardian, for all we know.
I hope not. I hope it's not him. I think it would be Pugh. I'm leaning more towards Rachel Weisz because we don't know anything about her character.
True.
It says, yes, he has a shield because of Cap, web shooters because of Spider-Man.
See, in the comics, of course.
Right. Club because of Thor. So, yeah, he has this same weapons you use on him.
Why does he have a sword?
Swordmaster.
Okay.
Trick arrows to trick Hawkeye.
That's funny.
That's funny. It says that on the wiki. Okay.
And in the trailer, in the previous trailer, not this one, without the cow, he has a bow and arrow. Right. So maybe he is already confronted, met up.
I think Barton's in this
now. Now there's also
that'd be great. That'd be cool.
Well, the Budapest thing,
right? He has to be in this movie.
Yeah, but here's the thing for me though. There's nothing. He mimics stuff, but there's nothing to say he hasn't been watching footage and studying them, and that's where he picks up his mimicry is through that, not just facing them in the field.
Me and Jeff were talking about that Monday. Yesterday. That
he's been watching them for years, so he studied and he's picked up the arrow thing for Hawkeye, and he picked up the shield thing for Cap because he's watched all the footage and he's seen.
But that's already getting to like
superhuman level. I think you have to fight him.
But he's supposed to be that type of character.
Okay.
I don't think he could mimic watching. I think he has to physically fight you.
I don't know the aesthetics of the character.
I know in the comics that's how it is. He's fighting you, and as he's fighting, you're beating him, but then he changes.
Yeah, he's learning as you're fighting him.
But here's again, this is a movie.
I get
so you got to change it.
You got to dumb it down for what?
You got to make it interesting. So to have a character that's formidable, you can't have a character that's introduced that's supposed to be your villain who's a wimp to begin with, and then somehow gets better as the movie goes on. You have to introduce him as a formidable opponent and somehow is beaten.
Well, no, you
later.
can't still. Then he's fought other people beforehand, so he knows how to. Scarlet could be beating him a little bit, but then he switches up on her and beats her.
I just saw it. Okay, so the next trailer we want to discuss is the Morbius trailer, and I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. I was really into it. I dug it. I dug it a lot. Even before the cameo at the end, I was kind of like, this is an interesting take.
Same, and I don't even like Sony movies.
I don't like, but
really, you liked it.
Okay. I don't even like Morbius as a character.
Same. I don't.
When they announced Morbius, my first reaction is, who the fuck asked for this?
He's a B level.
The B. He's an X level character. Who gives a shit about fucking Morbius?
Yeah. But
I gotta say, I was kind of digging what they're doing with the character. I like the way it looks. It's got a real like a pseudo horror element to it, which I'm into. It's fucking Jared Leto, so obviously he's gonna fucking knock it out of the park with the portrayal.
He's a great actor.
He's great at what he does. I dig how he's got the skinny body to begin with, so he really dove into it, and then next time you see him, he's all fucking roughed out.
Yeah, he's all buffed up.
Yeah, so
I watched it with Nicole, and shout out to Nicole. You know what she said? She's like, "Is this Man-Bat from DC?"
That's funny. I thought she told you to leave the room.
No, she's like, "Is this that Batman villain, the Bat?" I'm like, Man-Bat? Holy shit. Almost the same.
Nothing the same.
No, almost.
One turns into a bat, the other one's a vampire.
Well, I mean,
he's a vampire through science.
He's right.
That's okay, so getting to that though, that's the only thing in the trailer that kind of bugged me was the whole changing element where he's standing in front of the vampire bats as they're flying at him and going through some kind of chemical field.
Right.
That's the only thing I was watching going, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, whatever.
To me, I'm surprised you both liked it. I saw it, I'm like, this looks fucking horrible.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess it left a bad taste in my mouth. It looks like visually, aesthetically, looks just like Venom. The same dark, sour tone,
which I don't like.
And then but then this weird wackiness to the dialogue, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Which is weird because I tried to watch Venom the other day. I turned it on. I got about halfway through it. I said, never mind.
You got halfway?
I don't even think I got halfway through it.
The worst part is George and I saw it in the theater, and we enjoyed it because it's so zany. It's like, what are we watching? But it does this thing where it feels like a throwback to early 2000s, 2003, 2005 comic book movies, like Daredevil and Elektra, where it's like, hey, at least they're trying, but not well. Clearly they're doing the lowest common denominator attempt at a comic book accurate story.
Now,
and then Venom felt weird because we're in the era where we've gotten an MCU. You get me? We've gotten good, comic book storytelling movies.
Right.
And then we got Venom. And it's like, what? Which was a fun throwback, but just ultimately just a weird attempt. And then Morbius is continuing that trend. But I guess hey, Venom did a lot of money.
That's the only reason we're getting this movie.
Right.
Because if nobody wants to see Venom, we wouldn't be having this movie.
Right. And it's just weird because it's another prestigious actor like Tom Hardy. You get Jared Leto, who literally looks like I don't know what the fuck he's doing in this movie. He looks like he's trying to do a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I see where you're going, but I don't think the material calls for that.
Well, kind of. He was dying of a rare blood disease.
Right. I get what the story is going for. I get what the trailer's trying to convey, but just to me, there's something about the tone. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not biting yet.
That's fair.
Pun intended.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's a fair assessment. The only thing I can say for my interest is, like I said, I heard about this movie before. I didn't care. Why are we getting it? Yeah. And to be honest, watching the trailer, all I could say is I was shocked by the trailer.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like,
so was I.
I was like, all right. I could see this being interesting. I don't, The Spidey stuff is kind of like, all right, like because you see Spider-Man in the background,
right? So let's talk about that because that's what all the fucking
and that's the
bonkers
shit about the thing.
So the ending of this is he's clearly kind of like already gone like full villain or full anti-hero
because he's like you got tired of the anti-hero stuff, or you got tired of the hero stuff.
Good guy,
yeah,
like
good guy stuff.
Yeah. So you see Adrian Toomes. You see Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes from Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
Who looks like he just escaped or something, like escaped prison.
Maybe they stuck him in the same prison.
No, because it's the street. He looks like they're in the street.
I don't really care. I didn't really notice.
Did they get sent to the raft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who?
Toomes.
No, he's in the regular human prison. Yeah, we see it in the ending of Homecoming.
Yeah,
when he confronts Gargan, and there it is just regular prison.
Yeah, but it could have been the raft. You don't know.
But we've seen the raft. The raft doesn't look like that.
Have we seen the raft?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm still thinking. I'm thinking of the raft from the comics, not from Civil War.
Yeah,
you're right. No, it's a regular prison.
Yeah,
that's stupid. Should send it to the raft.
It could be.
Why? He has no powers. The raft is specifically built for superpowered beings.
Vulture gets sent.
Hawkeye and Sam Wilson and Falcon got sent there.
I agree. The logic there was fucking astounding, but I'm not defending that.
Ant-Man too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they were at least essentially kind of in the eyes of that public or prosecutor or however the judicial system works against superheroes. They were superheroes turned terrorists or villains.
Right.
Adrian Toomes just stole shit. You get me? He didn't really.
So did Falcon.
Huh?
So did Falcon. He stole those wings.
Okay.
And then Ant-Man stole the suit.
True.
Right.
But, went toe-to-toe with the Avengers.
I get you.
Again, Adrian Toomes just stole stuff. But yeah, that shit with seeing Michael Keaton, this was me. I was like, oh, cool. They're trying to connect it. Then he immediately set in. I was like, oh no.
They're trying to connect it.
And I was like, oh,
I felt the same way.
This is weird. I was like, because then that means this is in the MCU. And then that means Venom's in the MCU.
Correct.
And I was like, then we have a Venom without Spider-Man.
Yes, we do.
Wait. Oh, this makes no sense.
But they're already saying that the Tom Holland's going to be in the next Venom movie.
We'll complain about that when we see the trailer. So then, now the thing that everyone's been having a huge uproar is the poster. The Spider-Man poster with the spray-painted murderer across it. Yeah. And everyone's like, that's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
No. The murderer is from the fact that he killed the...
Right. No. But the poster it's on is the Spider-Man suit from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Well, I almost posted to the chat today. I came across this article that I thought, until I read it, was like, oh, okay. The article was postulating that this is them trying to put together their own Spider-Verse movie with Andrew Garfield and them coming back for the Spider-Man roles.
I don't need it.
But when I read the article, it was like, no, them speculating. It wasn't actually.
Yeah. This feels like lazy editing, and someone just put the Sam Raimi.
So I saw. I can't. Who was it? It was. I didn't read it. It was. I think it was Slash Film Daily, their daily podcast from slashfilm.com. I can't recall the name of the co-host that said it. That supposedly it's actually, I'm not sure if it was that podcast either. I listen to way too many fucking podcasts. Someone said that it's because for marketing purposes they cannot use Marvel Studios likeness.
Oh, okay.
So they use any like a Spider-Man suit. They can't use movie ones because it's tied to MCU. So they're like, fuck, what do we use? So they use the only thing that they have is the Spider-Man Sony video game, the promotions for the Sam Raimi suit on that game.
Oh, okay.
It's a poster of at least some kind of like pose that he's doing like in midair. They use that and they put that in the trailer for marketing purposes because they cannot use any likeness that resembles another film studio. Which is, even though it's weird that they have like, hey, you could use our character, but you can't use our promos.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it's weird. Contracts are weird, man. But supposedly that's correct because I've seen like Twitter like dissect the shit out of it. And like supposedly that's correct.
But those producers, before you sit down and write this in the movie, be like, "Oh fuck, we cannot make a."
No, that seems to be something that would.
But it's weird how we're getting the first movie taking place after Endgame is a non-MCU movie. because this would be taking place in the events after Far From Home, which is immediately after Endgame. It's what, 6 months after or 5 months after?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. So then following that fallout, this is the first movie, and it's not an MCU movie.
Fuck Sony. Shoehorning. How about we're getting this movie before we're getting a New Gods movie? I'm not letting New Gods
I don't want to compare anymore with DC. I'm done comparing with DC.
I'm not letting you go. We're going to get Venom 2 before we get New Gods.
It's going to be weird when by the time we get New Gods, people are going to be comparing it to Eternals.
We're not getting
That's weird.
Okay, but we're not getting it. So give me Man of Steel 2.
So yeah, Morbius was weird. I guess I could say fundamentally on the podcast we're mixed.
Yeah. I dug it, but
I was just trying to be positive for once on a Sony movie. I know I'm gonna hate it.
I dug the trailer. Do I think it solves all my problems?
No.
But I dug the trailer, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And then the next trailer might be like, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So to me, it looks like the trailer for a B movie that I would have picked up from Blockbuster Video on a Friday night where I had nothing to do, and just grab like a box of snow caps and enjoy it.
Cool.
Which is what I did a lot.
Snow caps.
Yeah, snow caps and bad B movies from Blockbuster Video. Ask your parents about that, kids.
Yeah, kids, if you don't know what Blockbuster Video is,
go watch Captain Marvel.
There you go.
Yeah, she fell into one.
So we all saw some movies. We're gonna go over some of them now.
Before we get to the meat potatoes at the end.
Yeah, the thing we were teasing at the beginning. Uncut Gems, the Adam Sandler movie that supposedly he was going to get nominated for, but got zero love, and now he's upset by.
He's pissed.
Did we all see it?
I didn't see it come. I keep wanting to see it. I don't
see it.
I saw it.
No, I want to.
I saw it based off of the fact I saw one trailer for it. It was like, okay, and then I heard that he was supposed to be nominated for it, so I said, well, I'll give it a shot. The one thing I will say is whoever chose the music for this movie, fire that guy.
Yeah, I agree. That was the first thing I said when I turned to Val. I'm like, what the fuck is up with the music?
I feel like when I'm watching the beginning of the movie, I feel like I should be in a planetarium.
Yeah,
like I should be leaning back and looking up at stars.
Joe, just to put it for you, so the movie is he plays a Jewish jewelry shop owner
with a huge gambling problem,
huge betting problem. Yeah,
on basketball.
Yeah, specifically.
So NBA.
So then the way the movie plays out, and this is the reason why I went to go see it because it was explained to me this way. The movie is a 2-hour long anxiety attack.
Oh.
It's fucking crazy, like of how bombastic and frantic the dialogue and the story just moves, and you're just watching a character literally his life. You're watching his life fall apart due to his fucking addiction to betting and gambling or whatever. And I even that description did not get me prepared for a multitude of fucking conversations when you walk into a room, and I'm just like, I have no idea what to focus on. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. So at any given point where literally like the music stops, I'm literally holding, like I'm gripping the chair, and I'm literally trying to grasp on my breath. I'm just like, I'm trying to breathe. I'm like, the character is not breathing. Like, there's no way. I need some kind of time. Like, can we put pause? Hey, projector man, can you please hit pause on this?
So the gist of the story is he's trying to dig himself out of a hole, a gambling hole. So any little piece of money he gets his hands on for whatever reason, he bets it. He's trying to bet it on this game. One of the things he ends up getting his hands on is he gets his hand on this black opal, because the movie starts out with them actually mining the opal. And
super weird way to start the movie.
It's especially coupled with the music. It's just like, what am I watching?
Yeah, so you're watching a bunch of Ethiopians dig for this opal, and the music is like throwback to like 80s synthwave.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. And not even like the poppy kind. It's the really weird underground
serious. You watch
kind.
the movie and you close your eyes and you feel like somebody should come on and go, if you look to your right, you'll see Venus. Venus is the brightest star. And that's the way, I mean,
yeah. You might hear that voice, or you might also hear, you could come if you want to.
Yeah.
You can do it with the
friend. It's like,
what the fuck is going on?
It really can't go either way.
And the worst part, it's not just the intro. That weird music is throughout the fucking movie. It's the strangest choices.
And they love their zoom-ins where they're zooming into like the molecules that's turned into something else. It's like, oh my God.
It's weird.
Yeah. So
it's an indie movie trying to be more than an indie movie. Yeah. It's like, just be an indie movie.
He's got this black opal, and he's got a guy who sells fake Rolexes through his jewelry shop who's supposed to bring him celebrities. And he's bringing him Kevin Garnett. And he's like, brings him in, and he gets this opal, which he thinks is going to sell at auction for millions of dollars.
Right.
He shows it to Garnet. Garnet wants it. He's like, I can't give it to you. Garnet's like, why would you show it to me if you can't give it to me? Right. And he's like, no, which is...
Wait, pause on that moment. Kevin Garnett was amazing in this movie. Okay. Surprisingly.
Well, here's the thing. So, I mean, you got to admit, Sandler threw in a fairly good, if not great performance.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Sandler's amazing.
He just fucking, I mean, him talking about an anxiety attack, that's what it is. Every time he's on screen, you're like, you tense up and you're like, what the fuck's he going to do now? You know, and when he makes his decisions, you actively slap your head going, what is this guy's problem?
Bro.
Like he ends up trading Garnett for the opal for Garnett's championship ring. Oh. And immediately, as soon as Garnett leaves, he goes downstairs across the street to the pawn shop and pawns it for the money. And he's like, you hang on to it. And then he goes and he bets it because he's trying to get the money back for his brother-in-law who's connected. But you don't find out he's his brother-in-law until later in the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy how you just see a gangster always after him, and then you see him again in this dinner and this
it's a Passover, not Passover. No, it's Passover.
Passover.
It's Passover dinner. So they're going through all the things, and he's sitting there at dinner with them. And Judd Hirsch is his father. And
it's so strange.
It's just, oh my God. Who's got money? Because at one point he asked him to buy the opal because it comes in undervalued. So it's, oh my God, you got to watch it. And then the ending is just fucked up. Okay. But
the ending was the most intense.
Yes.
Because it's like most movies that end very tensely are like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. There's just 20 fucking minutes of the most intense dialogue and just
you can spoil it
betting that I'm like, oh, what is about to happen? Okay. And then to me, the standout was the chick that plays his girlfriend, Star.
See now,
and first time acting.
Yes, true. I liked her, but I'm going to tell you right now, that was the hardest thing for me to believe was the fact that he's married to Idina Menzel and he's got a side piece. I'm like, what?
No, but I like the moment they had together where she's like, your face is so stupid. You are the most annoying person in the world. You could really tell that his wife fucking hates him.
That's true.
And it's amazing. And then Val leans to him and she goes, I fucking hate him. and it was only like an hour into the movie.
I think you were going to say she leans to you. I hate you too.
What was it? Oh,
she would have. She would have.
Mine would have too. So.
What was it? The Weeknd was the rapper in the movie?
Yeah. Yo, that scene with The Weeknd was crazy.
Yeah. So.
And Lakeith Stanfield playing he's like his connection, his connect. The one with the Rolex plug. Uh-huh. Bro, Lakeith Stanfield is a fucking standout too, man.
Yeah, he was good.
Playing that role I like that actor already. He's amazing at other things. But him playing this sleazily fucking I don't know, I don't even know what other words to describe him. He's just sleazy. Right. But then you could tell he goes, yo, what? That's how crazy Adam Sandler's addiction is. He tells him, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, wow. And it's like, wow, for that character to tell him that, it's amazing. Uncut Gems is a hidden gem in the theaters that I think you have to run out to go see.
Yeah. It just, the decision this dude makes are just fuck. And here's the worst part about the whole thing. Every time he bets, he's right.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. He just keeps getting foiled. Like the first bet he makes his bet, he goes in, he keeps sending all this money in, and then like I said, the Eric Bogosian is the guy who owes money to him. He picks him up and he's like, "You still owe me my money. You don't think I have to know you've been all over town with my money, betting my money?" He's like, "It's okay. It's like, I got a sure thing. It's playing. They bet we're gonna be millionaires." He's like, "No, I canceled the bet." He's like, "You canceled the bet?" He won, but they canceled the bet before it happened.
Yeah.
So he still owes them money. So later on in the movie, he gets the idea to bet again, and he's like, no. And he wins again. Even though he's got a gambling problem, he's right.
Yeah.
But he just keeps getting foiled.
Yeah, things keep getting in the way. All right, he gets foiled. That's crazy. Or you literally, throughout this plot, you're getting other characters on the side that he also owes. Mm-hmm. So even let's say he wins. Or people that he's pawned other shit.
Yeah.
You're seeing him, just pawn some random thing. And then literally, scenes later, you forget about it. Someone else comes in and they're asking for the thing he pawned 20 scenes ago.
Yeah, people are showing up on streets he's like, I got no time for you. I got no time for you. Get the fuck out of my face. I got no time for you. Yeah, but you owe us money. Where's that thing? You owe us this money because you did this. And there's and
the guy's like,
showing up.
The guy's like, oh, where's my Michael Jackson cross?
Yeah.
And I forgot. I'm like, holy shit, that's what he pawned in the beginning of the movie.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's
crazy.
Just, and then he's got this Knicks ring, this Knicks championship ring where he wears everywhere. He ends up pawning that at the end of the movie. He had to trade it for the Garnett ring to get back, but that's right. Even then, though,
it's a sleazy movie, but it's so awesome.
But what I liked about that scene, though, is like he's sitting there and he's like, "Look, I'll give you the Garnett ring. I'll give you the Knicks ring. And you know how much this ring means to me. I give you that for the Garnett ring back." And even that guy who's just like been giving him shit the whole time, he's like, "Booby, what's wrong? You need help?"
Yeah,
it
was funny.
He's like, "You got the impression." He's like, "Look, if you need me to lend you some money, I'll lend you some money. Let's figure it out." So it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, it was a good movie. It was just some of the choices in that movie are weird.
Especially with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's a really awkward scene, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? It's so weird.
She ends up almost sleeping with The Weeknd. Like, they're in the bathroom together.
Doing coke.
And he puts her hand on his dick, and she's like, oh, and she's got, like, her shirt halfway off. And then Adam Sandler kicks his way into the bathroom that they're in and starts trying to beat the shit out of The Weeknd, and then starts blaming her, and she's following his ass down the street like, baby, no.
It's the most, like, New York thing.
Piece, right?
She's the side piece. But here's the thing. He's paying for everything.
Right.
He works for her, or she works for him, rather. His city apartment she lives in. He's paying for everything, so obviously that's the money.
Right.
It's so funny.
I'll watch it.
It's good. So now I want 1917. We saw that. We all here saw that.
Sam Mendes, 1917.
You guys loved it?
Director of cinematography, of course. And I called it because I didn't know going in. As soon as this one scene happened, the one with the flares, and I don't want to spoil it. Well, I think we all saw it, right? So the one with the flares.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I immediately knew. I'm like, this is fucking Roger Deakins.
Yep.
This is Roger Deakins. And then when I saw in the credits at the end of the movie, I was like, I fucking called it, man. I knew this. That's why this movie is so fucking inventive. I'm getting excited because I fucking love this movie. This movie is fucking perfect. I think this movie is objectively perfect.
Really?
I love this fucking movie.
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep? How? What part would you have fallen asleep to this?
Wow.
Right after he meets the girl with the kid
in the ruins.
In the ruins, and then he's running through the ruins.
That's
the flares, bro. I love that whole sequence.
Oh, I thought you were talking about earlier in the movie.
No, that's what happens.
It's after. Yeah, that's after.
That's
when the flares die out.
Yeah, because he's hiding the shadow. He waits for the flare, and then he goes again.
No, when he's running through the ruins, that's when I started to kind of check out.
Running through the ruins. It was with the flares.
That was beautiful.
Dude, really? I
fell asleep, and then I opened up my eyes to see him in a river.
Yeah, because he jumps.
And then I fell asleep again, and then I woke up and everybody was singing. And that's where I'm finished the movie.
Oh, that was awesome. That was so cool.
Now, what I did see, I liked, but I fell asleep, dude.
That's crazy. I don't understand that. I honestly don't understand that.
I just felt it. Now, here's the thing. I also felt that it was a British version of Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Because every seemingly every officer that they met was a famous person.
Yeah.
Even down to the first guy, who I loved, because he was the master. No, I'm sorry. He was Moriarty on Sherlock.
Oh, so after Colin Firth.
Colin Firth, there's the guy they find where he's like, oh, that guy's dead, but this guy, the lieutenant over here, and he's like, look, these flare guns are too expensive, so if you get shot, can you throw it back to us, please?
He did that so good.
Oh, it was great. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. But that guy, he was Moriarty on Sherlock,
and then
he was in Fleabag. He was in the second season of Fleabag, which is great. But I love that actor. He pops up in all these. He was in not a great endorsement, but he was in the last James Bond movie too.
Okay,
but he was great, so I really liked him. And then you met the other guy, which was Mark Strong, and I'm like, okay, well,
I love how you see him, you meet him out of frame, and I mind you, I want to.
That was cute.
I want to tell you guys, I went to see this movie with my British friend.
Oh, okay.
And then as soon as he comes on, I lean into him. I'm like, is that Mark Strong? And he goes, oh, I don't know. Like, I can't tell from the voice. I was like, I can tell from the fucking voice and the accent. And then they show him, and he goes, good on you, mate. And I was like, yeah.
And then the next one you get is Benedict Cumberbatch, who had another great line where he's telling us, like, this one's like, fuck off.
No, there was someone else after.
Maybe I missed it.
After Mark Strong, who they met, I I can't remember who it was. I think it was during Mark Strong. My own British friend is like, how many fucking famous British actors did they get for this movie?
Well, then
just to have cameos.
But then the brother that they're looking for was Robb Stark.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like
playing Tommen Lannister's brother, because that actor,
right.
Private Blake, plays Tommen.
That's where I know him from. Okay,
He plays
that's
Tommen.
where I know him from. All right.
He plays Tommen, and then when you think of it, like, oh, they never met because Tommen aged up later, and
remember the first Tommen.
Robb Stark died in season 3.
Yeah, but there was two Tommens too.
Right, no, that actor portrayed a cousin Lannister in the beginning, which Robb Stark imprisoned and Jaime Lannister killed.
Yes.
Right. So they had met.
I got bored in the middle of the movie and I fell asleep.
I love war movies, and this one was.
But here's the thing:
I thought it was amazing.
I like war movies too, but World War I movies just don't interest me. I don't care. It's something about the fucking prop planes and I don't.
I was fucking saying, don't drag him out of that plane. Don't leave him alone, and fucking kills him.
And that was the other shocking thing is like the guy they hung all their fucking media on because he was the one. I never noticed the other guy. It was Blake.
I only recognize him because I had seen him in the Stephen King thing with James Franco on Hulu, 11/22/63. He plays the friend that helps him stop the assassination of JFK.
Okay. Well,
that's how I remember that actor. I can't place him.
So to me, they hung all their advertising on the one guy.
On Tommen.
Yeah. And then halfway through the movie, they kill him.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, that's a bold choice. And then the other guy, who I never even noticed was in the movie until the movie started, was like, oh, so the rest of the movie's about this guy, who I haven't even really been paying attention to this guy because the other guy's been the one I've been listening to.
I had because I liked their back and forth because he was like, why the fuck?
He was definitely the smarter one.
He was like, why the fuck you pick me?
Right.
And he goes, all right, you could go back. Where it's like, well, whatever. And then I like the little conversations that you kind of get his character before Tommen dies, which is Private Blake. I don't want to keep calling him Tommen.
Yeah, Private Blake.
Where he's like, it's just a ribbon. Like he didn't care about his own medal. Yeah. And then you get that tidbit of like, he gave it away for just wine. He's like, why? He goes, I was thirsty.
Yeah.
So to your point of Justin, of not liking World War I depictions in movies, I do because it's the first World War. People thought there was not going to be a sequel.
Correct.
You got me?
It was just a World War at that point.
They literally thought that
it was just called the Great War.
The Great War, right? And then the barbaricism of it, of like, whoa, like you see people's limbs and eyes and faces just like burnt and gnawed and there's nothing they could do. No. This war was not prepared for that.
But all wars are like that.
Right, but even more so the first one because they had never fought on this kind of a front of multiple countries being at war and allying to fight on another country's invasion.
What I will say was interesting for me, and I don't even know why, but I did find it really fascinating, was like you're getting all the walks through the British trench, right? So you're seeing them.
German trenches.
Well, no, the first was the British, where they're in the British trenches.
Well, they walk through,
They're walking through the British trenches. You see them actually digging out some of the parts, everything like that. Then they get over to the German side, and the German side is fucking immaculate.
Yeah.
Not only is it immaculate,
they have
it's
bunkers
also
already
abandoned, too.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is so good, we don't even want to be here anymore.
And then I how they say, like, they sabotage their own guns.
Right. They blast their own guns.
Yeah. And then you have the rats with the fucking booby traps and shit like that.
Right, they left booby traps.
That freaked me out.
Me too. I'm not saying I hated the movie. I just got to be honest. I fell asleep in the middle of it, guys. Sorry.
What
did I miss?
And it's funny because you fell asleep during the slower moments where we needed, because I felt like we needed some moments of humanity because this was, to me, was so fast paced. We're getting so much shit happening all at once as we're following these two men on this mission to stop an ambush.
I didn't feel that way at all because I was watching it going, you had the moments of intensity like when they're crossing no man's land. Like, what the fuck's going to happen when they cross no man's land? And then but then you got the lulls of, okay, they're in the trench and nothing's happening. Nobody's there. And I didn't think booby traps, so I'm like, okay, whatever. They're just walking through. So that to me was a slow moment. And then you got them walking across the fields where they're just talking, like the ribbon talk and everything. Again, another moment of being slow. And then him by chance finding the milk,
And that payoff was great.
That payoff was amazing.
The baby needed milk.
Yes.
I thought the payoff was great.
So and then so those moments were kind of lulls for me. So that's kind of where my mindset started to drift. Like you'd have these moments of intensity where it's like, okay, let's pay attention to what's going on, and then you'd have these lulls where I'm just like, how much longer are they going to start? Is anything going to happen?
Man, but to me it was odd because it was Roger Deakins cinematography, so it looked beautiful. And then the way that they just kept tracking on these two men, and then it wasn't just their front or their back. The way it would pan and fuck, what's the other word when they go over? Dolly? I think it's dolly. Mm-hmm. When they dolly above them to get the landscape in front of them, or when they go dolly back. Whatever action, you didn't fall asleep through, Justin. Whatever action had just happened, and then they dolly over them and pan in front of them to see what's behind them. Mm-hmm. You see the effects of that action behind them.
Right.
So when Blake shoots the flare up, the camera goes around them, and then you see it coming down behind them.
Right.
I thought that was fucking astounding.
That's what I missed. So I didn't see that.
I thought it was beautiful, and then when he's in the lake, you see the flower petals falling from the tree. Mm-hmm. When he comes down to a stop, you're like, oh, he's gonna grab onto the log and climb out.
Nope.
But then he starts feeling close, and you start seeing, oh shit, it's a body.
Dead body.
Wait, there's another body.
A lot.
Oh fuck, this whole river is covered in bodies.
Right.
So he's freaking out, getting out of the river.
Yeah.
Out of the river. When he gets out, the camera does that thing again. It pans over him, and then you see behind him, and you see the beautiful tree with the flower petals coming down looking like snowflakes, followed by this huge slew of bodies that just piled up. That's what allowed him to stop.
Wow.
Dude, and that frame alone was so haunting for me.
I'll watch it again.
And then you hear the music, and I'm like, is he about to die? Bro, I was legitimately scared. I was like, I think he's about to fucking die, and he's not gonna make it to the fucking mission.
It sucks.
And when it's the Devon's battalion, the one that he's looking for, Company 2 or whatever it's called, and he's like, he finally just sits down, and even I was just so scared for him. I took a breath with him, and I was like, I feel for this fucking human on a human level. I felt for him, man.
Same.
And the worst part where he's there. And he's like, I still need to get to the captain so I can stop this fucking thing. And then they start running.
And they already started going over.
Right. He already missed the first wave.
Right.
Bro, I was legitimately scared for these men.
Right.
Because he had risked so much and lost Agent Blake. Right. And then, bro, it moved me to tears. I literally cried. Because he's running. He's gunning for it to save these fucking men's lives. Right. And then what scared me is what Mark Strong said. He goes, when you tell this other captain,
make sure there are witnesses.
Make sure there's witnesses, because some men just want to fight. Boy, and I was scared when you see Benedict Cumberbatch turn. This was me. Oh fuck, because he has that face, and you saw him with the scar. I was scared. I was like, bro, that's the face of a man that wants war.
Right. And he didn't want to hear it. He's like, no, I'm sending them.
Bro, I was legitimately scared. But what I loved, because the depictions of war are fucking frightening in here, because it's everywhere. I like when they're crawling and there's dead horses. There's dead men stuck on the wires because they can't get to it because it's no man's land. They haven't been able to get to those bodies that are still left there, the ditches of just bodies and whatnot. But I like the comment of Benedict Cumberbatch. He goes, well, thank you for sending me this. I'm just going to get sent the opposite message tomorrow. That's just how war is.
Well, I mean, you still had he cut his hand on the fence, and then he fucking puts it in a dead body. To which the guy sitting next to me goes, "Well, he's dead."
Yeah,
that's gonna kill him there.
So
but then, I remember the other thing that took me out of this actually took me out of the movie. So and it's probably just me, but a movie like this where they have these long cuts where they're trying to make you think that it's like one shot.
Yeah.
When a movie like that happens, unfortunately for me, I just count the cuts. It just automatically clicks in my head. I'm like, oh, where are the cuts at? Because I start looking for them because I know these shots can't be that long.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for there's a cut. And I was like, there's no one.
But to me,
that just took me out of the movie.
To me, that technicality, I find that fascinating. And then immediately after I watched the movie, I saw the making of the featurette. Bro, they would really rehearse an entire sequence just because the time of day was wrong.
Oh, wow.
And they would wait for the time of day to be right and then film it.
I have to watch that.
It's freaky. It's 12 minutes long. It's not that long. It's a 12-minute behind-the-scenes featurette of 1917.
I saw how they shot the
crazy.
Him running and then...
Dude, they built these real-life locations that they had to physically run with them because they had to finish by the end of the day and then start the next time, which is the ending when he meets Blake's brother, who's Richard Madden. And, bro, when he told him his brother died and Richard Madden cried, it broke my fucking heart.
That was pretty bad. Yeah.
It was bad.
Look, like I said, I didn't hate the movie. I just fell asleep in the middle of it. Just the entertainment stopped at a certain point for me, which sucks because apparently I missed really great stuff. So I got to see it again. But it's just one of those things where, and here's the thing, I went in the movie and I was like, I went because my friend wanted to go, and I'm like, well, I'll see it. I really had no interest in it, in seeing the movie. I just was I went because
I did. I saw Sam Mendes, World War I, and long shots. I'm like, that just screams me.
And just once I started, this actually unfortunately falls into the realm of movies that I don't like because they over advertise it.
Okay.
Like years ago when the second Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps came out, like I was going to the movies like pretty steadily, like twice a week. And every movie I saw had a trailer for that movie, to the point where I got so fucking sick and tired of that. I was like, will this fucking movie come out already so I can stop seeing these trailers?
Yeah, you didn't even want to see it.
I didn't want to see it. This movie unfortunately fell into that category because it seemed like every single movie, even like when I went and saw Frozen 2, seemed like Frozen 2 had a fucking trailer for 1917. I was like, fuck, how many fucking movies do I got to see this trailer for? Fucking come out already, will you? So already I was kind of against it, but my friend wanted to see it, and I was like, all right, I'll go. And I was legitimately like, let's give it a chance. Let's see what happens. And I sat there and I was like, okay, yeah, movie, this is pretty solid. I'm digging it. Like these people. I like what I'm seeing. And then it just kind of was like, next thing I know, I'm waking up to people singing. And I'm like, the fuck's going on? Oh, I should try to pay attention. And then I missed the whole sequence of the movie. So, but it was just.
I know it was awesome. That's unfortunate.
So I gotta see that now.
I absolutely loved it to the point that I think it was. If I would have seen it last year, it would have been my favorite movie of the year. Mm-hmm. And because since I've seen it,
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say favorite movie of the year because it's one of the first ones. So there's not
much. I meant if I had seen it last year.
Because I'm saying this year, it's hard to say that about this year.
Yeah. This year, I don't know yet, but it's already up there.
Yeah, like great.
I'm already counting it in my mind as like a personal favorite of all time because I fucking loved it that much.
Right.
Joe, since you liked it more or less aligned with me, what was your favorite sequence?
The running. Well, no. That one tense scene where he came up on that sniper on that tower. That sniper, but the soldier, and they were shooting back and forth,
climbing the bridge.
I was like, oh shit.
Dude,
and
that was
his quiet for him, like, did he kill him?
Yeah.
Did he kill him? But he didn't fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Bro, and he's like reloading in real time.
I'm like, you're using too many. I'm yelling at them. Stop shooting.
Yeah.
Because nobody's shooting back at you.
It's
Hold it.
Crazy, man. I remember that scene. That scene was great. And when he gets into the building and he opens the door and he gets shot and he gets back and he falls down the stairs, I lost my shit. I finally needed to breathe there. I was like, fuck, what is going to happen?
Why am I stressed? I'm not dying.
I think mine is just not even an action sequence. I just love the banter back and forth is between
him and Lieutenant. It was good.
The lieutenant at the beginning of the movie where he's sitting there and they're talking.
It's crazy because they didn't even know each other in the beginning.
Yeah, he chose him because like they were just like kind of buddies, but they weren't close.
No, he's like, why'd you choose me? He's like, I thought it would be easy. Yeah. I thought it would be nothing.
And talking about the beginning, it's symmetric to the ending.
Right.
I don't know if you picked up on that. I don't know. Did you pick up on that, Justin?
Symmetric. Yeah.
To the brother.
Yeah. The Blake. No. Blake is first shown through the straw field. He's laying down on the floor. That's how he dies. And then the one against the tree is Stillwell.
Yeah.
Stillwell. He's up against a tree at the beginning, gets woken up, and then that's how he ends at the end. Gets up against the tree, and he's riding to Blake's mother.
Yeah.
No, he's looking at his family, and it's the first time he never mentioned his family in the whole movie.
And then you hear they read the bit,
Fucking amazing! I thought it was beautiful, man. My favorite is to your point, Joe. I liked that sniping sequence. My favorite was when he comes to the burning building, and then you see a soldier come to him, and he doesn't know what's going on. But it's so tense because you see the soldier put the gun down, walk to him slowly, stop.
Yeah.
Get the gun back ready, and he starts running away immediately. Yeah. So then that running away from it, and then with the lighting of the fire, beautiful, beautiful, man.
Oh, when he killed that
I can't get over Roger Deakins. The way that man shoots shit, I find fucking incredible.
The way he killed that guy in the dark. Because his other friends were there right after he left the mother and the daughter.
Dude, that was so tense. No, that's why I can't fathom sleeping through. Like, I found this so intense. I found all the moments of low necessary.
I was like, are these guys stormtroopers? Because they're shooting him in a long ass hallway and nothing's hitting. Every stone but him.
All right, so we're generally mixed, but more towards good, thankfully, because I loved it. For Sam Mendes' 1917. Justin and I wanted to get into a TV thing, HBO's The Outsider, based on the Stephen King novel. Mm-hmm. That's the most recent Stephen King novel. Like, that was only like 5 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Jason Bateman directed these first 2 episodes that we saw.
Yeah,
I thought were phenomenally directed.
Yes, loved it. Loved every bit of it. Fucking very tense, very
dour too. Mm-hmm. Like, it's super serious.
Now you're watching it and you're like, there's so many, like, you haven't seen it, Joe. There are so many elements in this thing that are just like, wait, what? Like the whole thing about the kid being mutilated, and they talk about how it's got teeth marks around the mutilations. And then you have the scene where Jason Bateman emerges from the forest and he's got blood all over his mouth.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And you're like,
yeah.
What the fuck am I watching?
Joe and listeners, the premise is an 11-year-old boy is found dead in the woods in Georgia? Is it Georgia?
It's filmed in Georgia. I don't think it's supposed to be Georgia, though. I can't remember where it is.
It's in Vermont.
No, they say it. They say it. Now it's bothering me.
Well, the thing that's popping in my head is Dayton, Ohio, because that's where the truck was found.
Oh, okay.
But, so a kid is found, and then due to all this, crazy evidence, they know exactly who it is. It's a Little League baseball coach, Jason Bateman's character, and he's arrested for it. Oh. Cool, whatever. Case closed. He is, could not fathom these charges. And none of the community, because it's a small town. And then he has an alibi. Not only, he has no idea what the fuck they're talking about, specifically what the fuck van they're talking about, because a van was used, and he has no idea what they're talking about. He wasn't there.
Right.
He was not there. He was 70 miles away from the crime at the time of the crime.
But they have all this evidence against him. They have 4 semi-credible witnesses that saw him. They have a woman who saw him pick up the kid and put him into a white van. They have a little kid who saw him emerge from the forest with the blood all over his face. They have a bouncer at a strip club that had him come in to use the bathroom and called him a cab. And then they had the cabbie who, when he got into the cab, was even saying, like, shouldn't you be reporting where you're taking
when you pick me up?
And they have video footage of at the train station looking at the camera, and even later on they figure out he's giving him the finger on the camera too if they look at it properly.
Yeah, so he's on footage at the same time in 2 different locations.
In addition to that, the blood match, his blood type matches the scene, and then all the fingerprints on the van match his fingerprints. But at the exact same time it's going on, there's video footage of a teacher seminar, and they have him on camera asking a question. So it's like, how can he be literally in 2 places at once? Because they even pulled a book off the gift shop wall, because the guy's talking to him, and he's like, did he touch anything? Was he here? And he's like, you see those books up there?
The leading investigator, the cop is played by Ben Mendelsohn, who's amazing.
Yes,
his American accent is actually really good.
So he's like, you see those books up there? He's like, you know why they're there? Because they're too expensive. Nobody buys them. Yeah. He pulled one down, looked at it, and put it back. Like, anybody touched them? He's like, what did I just say? So he buys the book, and they take the prints off of that. So he was there. So they have prints that match both locations, and they're sitting there going, how the fuck can he be in 2 places at once? Now, the one thing you have to remember about this series, though, it's Stephen King.
Right.
So it's going to have a supernatural element.
So as I'm watching this with Val, my wife, and she goes to me, she goes, this is Stephen King, so that's going to be some kind of supernatural thing.
Because they keep focusing in on that guy in the hood.
Right. So there's like a hooded figure with like a fucked up face.
Yeah.
That keeps like being shown. And then Jason Bateman's like kids keep being like, followed like at night or something. Like one keeps noticing a kid, like a man in the house.
Well, she keeps waking up and going to the edge of the bed, staring off into the darkness. And when every time mom comes to confront her, she's always just like, no, I'm not going to believe you. Go away, go away, go away. And he's like, will you make the man go away? He's like, there's nobody there. And then the last time.
It's just a bad dream, go to sleep, whatever.
The last time that happens, it focuses it on the floor, and the floor's wet.
Yeah, there's 2 wet footprints.
And then now, at the end of the last episode, the clothes that Bateman changed into in the strip club to get out of the bloody clothes, he changed it to like jeans and a t-shirt with a belt buckle. They just found those clothes in a barn, and they're covered in something. I'm assuming the same stuff as what was on the floor. Because it wasn't raining any of those times.
Right, it's true.
So
then now, the big boat thing that I do want to get into some spoilers. Would you want to check it out, Joe? Would you mind spoilers? Cool.
Do it.
So, of course, in typical, child murder fashion, he's in trouble in jail.
Okay.
And then they can't let him go yet. So he's in jail, and people want to fucking kill him in jail. And then what's going on in the neighborhood, too, is people want to kill him because he killed a kid. Mm-hmm. The family of the dead kid, the mom has a heart attack.
Oh.
And dies.
Jeez.
Her other son gets pissed and decides he's going to kill Jason Bateman. Okay. So he shows up at the perp walk for the arraignment and shoots him and kills him, but he also gets shot in the head by Ben Mendelsohn.
So the other kid dies, and Jason, the victim, died. Jason dies,
and he's like,
"That's it."
The last thing he says is, "I didn't do it." And then the father of the kid that died, and then the wife and everything, he decides, "Well, there's nothing left for me," so he hangs himself. And then
doesn't die.
No,
but he's made of vegetable. He won't wake up.
He's like he was air restricted for 10 minutes.
So another cop tells the Ben Mendelsohn character, he goes, "A whole family was wiped out because of this case."
Right.
And then I like Jason Bateman's character's the wife. She tells Ben Mendelsohn, she goes, "The last words my husband said were to you, not even to me, were to you." And he said his dying words were, "I didn't do it." But the way they're putting, and that's the second episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
there's still 8 more episodes, or was it 8 in total?
Oh, I gotta look it out.
And everyone's already dead.
Yeah. so it's like, what more is left? So literally, the rest of episode 2 is Ben Mendelsohn on forced leave what is it called?
Oh, because he shot somebody, they put him on.
Yeah, he killed the kid that shot.
Like that studio, whatever.
No. They always put him on leave because for like mental, for recovery.
Yeah, it's like mandatory leave or something.
Like down here, if you shoot somebody, it's mandatory 3 days off because you just killed somebody.
Yeah, but for some reason he gets
somebody. So you don't. So no shell shock or anything. You can take time to deal.
Yeah, and him is like, you need to see a therapist before even coming back.
Okay.
There's no like 2 weeks or something. No,
but the investigation is very fascinating too, because they found the van. They figured out that the van was stolen from New York by this kid who was just trying to get out of New York, and he ended up ditching it. And at first you're like, okay, whatever. And then they're like, oh no. Because they also said earlier that he's like, well, I didn't leave anywhere. I've been in this town this whole time. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere to get a van. This is Jason Bateman talking. Right. He's like, I didn't go anywhere to get a van. So the only place I went to was Dayton, Ohio. We flew both ways. And then that comes back in later because where the van was ditched was in Dayton, Ohio. And it was just
it's weird. It's weird how these nonsensical clues before are not coming back. But then I like how even people around Ben Mendelsohn's character are like, what does it matter?
Right.
Well, he's dead. He's dead, and then the other victim family is fucking gone.
Right. Yeah, but he keeps saying that. Ben Mendelsohn actually is the only one who keeps saying it too. He's like, you don't understand. If we got the wrong person, there's still somebody out there who did it.
Right.
That's what I like. I like that I like how like those typical cop show things like they get over in their head for no reason or just cause like it's just the cop is determined. I like that he has a motivation. It's because he wants it to stop.
Well, his motivation is also his kid too. He lost his kid as well to cancer.
I love that motivation. I have to admit, I love that motivation.
But he's motivated by the fact that his kid is dead, and he can't really accept the fact that there was nothing he can do to help his kid. So he kind of like the first thing he asked Bateman when he puts him in the car is like, "Did you touch my kid?" And he's like, "Your kid died of cancer. Right. How am I going to have done that?" You know. And even his wife is telling him.
But I like what he meant. Like, you know, did you
hurt my kid too?
No, the assumption of like all child murderers are also pedophiles.
Yes. But I like his answer to that too, though, when he says, "Did you touch my kid as well?" And he's like, "Look," and he give him that whole story about baseball, and he's like, "Did I touch your kid? I hope so." Yeah. Because of the whole motivation thing, I thought was really cool. So I'm digging this.
That brought me to tears when he gave him that whole spiel. That brought me to tears, man. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Here's the thing, and the funny thing for me is you knew he was going to die because even if he made it through arraignment, he was coming back to the prison to get fucking killed because they even said that. They even put that.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, when you come back from court today,
we're gonna be waiting for you." You know, so you knew he was gonna die. I kind of glad he went out the way he did, rather than get fucked up into prison. So you know,
to me, it angered me with what the kid did. Grief makes you do really fucked up shit. Mm-hmm. What the kid did, it was like, that doesn't cancel out. Like, let's say it was him.
It was his only way of dealing with it, though.
No, I know. But let's say it was him. Let's say Jason Bateman's character did do it. And Terry. Let's say the Terry character did do it. It was correct. An eye for an eye. Maybe I could understand that. Maybe not in modern ways, but maybe I understand that. But what the kid did, it was he attacked a whole escort of cops. 2 cops died.
Remember, it's not just an eye for an eye, though. He's traumatized with the fact that his brother died, and then as a result, his mother died.
Right.
So and that to me is more like you just killed the one person in the world who I cared about the most at this moment in my life. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to take you down, even if it means killing other cops in the process.
To me, that doesn't cancel. That doesn't cancel.
I don't think. I don't think a person like that.
It's despicable either way.
Well, yeah, but I don't think a person like that thinks like that.
No, I know. I know. I'm trying to think of it objectively. Subjectively, I understand the kid. Sadly, objectively, is like that's not an excuse, man, to take other lives.
Never it is. No. But the person like that never thinks like that. They're never going to think like that. He's like, is this a good idea? No. He's thinking to himself, look, I need to get back at the person who wronged me, and the only way I know how to do it is to pull a gun and fucking kill this guy.
So, what do you think? Before we move on to our main discussion, what do you think is actually going on?
I've been talking to my wife, Rachel, and I keep saying shapeshifter. I keep saying a person who...
That's funny. That's what my wife is saying.
Is saying like somebody who has to touch somebody and can take on their face or something like that, but who has been doing this for so long that he knows that he's got to implicate the person he's framing every way possible, because he's going out of his way to show, like, to the camera, like when he got into the cab, he's like... it's like, shouldn't you log this?
Right.
And then when he got to the train station and he looks at the camera and he turns and looks at the camera again. So he knows what he's doing. He's trying to make sure that there's overwhelming evidence to frame this guy and put this guy away so that nobody ever looks for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I think it's somebody who can take the form or maybe the face of somebody else. And that's what that guy in the hoodie
then why need to like eat the kid or whatever?
It's super, because it's Stephen King. And it's probably going to connect to everything else, like a version of It, where it's maybe one of those monsters where it has to consume children or something. Because remember, the It monster was like that too.
Right.
A version of that monster or something. Because all of his worlds connect. I wouldn't be surprised if Shining somehow plays a part in it, because that played a part in oh God, what is it? I can only think Dr. Sleep now. The Shining.
Yeah.
I'm tired. So The Shining plays part of The Shining, plays part of Dr. Sleep, plays part in The Dark Tower. So, and in The Dark Tower, the Man in Black is also the same Man in Black that's in The Stand. He's also the same character that's in other books. All his books kind of connect.
His King universe.
Even, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in this series you get a reference to the Overlook Hotel or something like that, or you get a reference to something else that's happened. But his books kind of connect in little tiny ways. So that to me means maybe this is some kind of creature that exists within his realm, his world of monsters.
How early do you think we're going to get introduced to whatever it is?
I think the fact that we're seeing this guy in the head in the hoodie is us being, but I don't think we're going to get like a real thing until Mendelsohn comes face to face with him. Mm-hmm. And
my only problem with that is that the Jason Bateman's direction is incredible, but it's also very grounded. It's very realistic.
But I think that's done on purpose to throw you off the supernatural element of it.
Right. Like to put your perspective with the characters of how jarring the supernatural element will be when they confront it.
And it might not be. I mean, I'm just saying a supernatural element because it is Stephen King. But I mean, it could be some weird doppelganger. But I don't think so. It seems too far-fetched, too thin for me. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's funny how both our wives had the same thing.
I was saying.
Oh, you said that.
I said the shapeshifter. Okay. Because even in the first episode, I'm like, there's some kind of shapeshifter. Because I'm like, it's Stephen King, and that just seems like something he would do.
Early on, of course, me being sci-fi nerd, I thought time travel. But the more they kept showing us the hooded figure, and then of course Jason Bateman dies, I'm like, okay, so it's not time travel.
Alternate dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah. multiverse.
Alternate dimension.
The whole
a portal to another dimension.
The whole thing,
just like the barbecue place.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the whole fuck. What was it called?
Pork.
Oh, it was like
Big Daddy's Porky.
Big Daddy's Porky or something like that. Hammock or something. Something
Outsider. Like that. It was Big Daddy.
Anyway. Like the whole wetness thing with the wet water on the floor, and then the it's that clear liquid.
Big Daddy's Hangry Barbecue.
Hangry Barbecue.
That's funny.
With the liquid on the clothes, everything like that. That's from him slipping between dimensions and shit. You know.
That's what I would think.
So, Outsider, totally worth watching.
Yes.
If you're not watching it, you need to be watching it. It's fucking HBO is just killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, with The Watchmen.
I can't wait. I can't wait with all other shit that they bring up this year.
I'm dying. Like every time they advertise something. In fact, I was watching a trailer the other day, and we got sucked. Me and my wife got sucked into it. Like, what the fuck is this? And then it ended up being the 3rd season of Westworld.
Nice.
Like, what?
Yeah, supposedly it's going a huge new direction.
Oh my! And we were like, what the fuck? And now it's like I fucking gave up after season 1.
Me too.
So I'm like, maybe I have to watch season 2 now.
Halfway season 1 of Westworld.
No, Westworld season 1 was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But
you saw that ending a mile away, but whatever.
Yeah, but the whole thing with him being, it took me a while to get the 2 characters.
I think I figured it out like maybe 3rd episode.
Oh,
maybe
I don't remember. It's so fucking long ago. I can't even.
I mean, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, if not, yeah. God. Okay, so that being said, the last thing what?
No, let's go.
Okay, last thing we want to talk about. I thought we were getting the grand
No, we're not.
Okay, so the last thing we want to talk about is it was leaked Colin Trevorrow's script for not even called Rise of the Skywalker. It was called Duel of the Fates, which is oddly the same name as the song from Phantom Menace.
I don't like the title, but it's okay.
But
me neither.
But Colin Trevorrow's script for the 9th Star Wars movie leaked this week, and we all got to. I didn't get to read the script itself. But I got to read the highlights of the script.
Me too.
And I was floored by how much better that sounded.
So Justin, you got the gist from the bullet points. I got the bullet points from the concept art, which I sent.
Sent us a concept art.
I read that.
You read the script,
and you have to listen to Robert.
I will. It's like a whole 3 hours where he's just reading the whole thing.
No, he's going through it, but then he takes questions between. That's why it's so long.
Okay.
He's taking live questions or whatever.
So, some context of, we're talking, of course, Star Wars Episode 9, which is Rise of Skywalker. Originally, before J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio were set to write and direct, it was Colin Trevorrow's movie, because Kathleen Kennedy's plan was a director will do their own take on this trilogy, per episode. Which Rian Johnson after J.J. Abrams' Force Awakens and Rian Johnson's Last Jedi. Colin Trevorrow was going to call his Episode 9 Duel of Fates, right?
Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates. I think it's not a horrible title. I don't like it.
Well, it was the name of the final piece from John Williams in Phantom Menace, Duel of Fates.
I know that, which to me just kind of that's what makes it seem a little too on the nose with the fan service, which is already a problem with Rise of Skywalker in the first place. And it's funny because then. This movie, the original script, Colin Trevorrow's script, is not. I don't want to call it as. It's not as fan servicey because it's still fan servicey, but it's not as.
Uncle Bob called it inside baseball. Bob Iger. He said,
I don't think so.
That's why he didn't go with him. I read that he went to Kathleen and said, "This is too much inside baseball. Find someone else."
Yeah. And not what fucking JJ did because.
Which I'm all for.
Even Star Wars fans, there's a bunch of shit that Star Wars fans cannot fucking explain in Rise of Skywalker.
After reading the script, I'm all for throwing Kathleen Kennedy out. We need someone else. I'm all for. She needs to go. I was not a part of that camp after 8 of throw her out. No, I am. She needs to go. So,
do we want to say all the bullet points or just say our favorites?
No,
I'm just reading the crawl here for the first time.
The crawl is great.
Yeah. The crawl for this movie is the iron grip of the First Order has spread to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Only a few scattered planets remain unoccupied. Traitorous acts are punishable by death. Determined to suffocate a growing unrest, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has silenced all communication between neighboring systems. Led by General Leia Organa, The Resistance has planned a secret mission to prevent their annihilation and forge a path to freedom. I mean, right there, that sounds way better than what we got.
And General Hux is Chancellor Hux of Coruscant.
He's not some joke now. He's an actual character.
But to be fair, he was slowly becoming a joke in Last Jedi.
Right.
Correct.
Which is funny because it's something that Colin Trevorrow would have fixed.
Yeah.
Not by fucking killing him off like JJ did.
But, I mean, just the beginning of this, it's like Finn and Rose and BB-8 are on a Star Destroyer during a heist.
Yeah, they actually have something to do. I thought that was amazing.
And they stole it.
Yeah.
I was like, dope. Hell yeah.
Chewie.
Instead of the Falcon coming back, it was a fucking Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and I'm like, cool, that's awesome. And Chewie on a fucking X-Wing, but battling, not fan service that all of a sudden it's someone's important X-Wing. No, it's Chewie just with the Resistance.
This to me sounds like they gave him something to do. I mean, Rose and Finn are on a mission to Coruscant to ignite an ancient beacon in an old Jedi temple, which would call the galaxy to war. They get imprisoned. Rose gets interrogated by General Hux.
Isn't it the same beacon that they sent in the Jedi Temple not to come back to Coruscant?
It might be.
And I remember in Episode 3.
Yeah, but remember that's the Jedi Temple, the main Jedi Temple, which became Palpatine's throne room during the.
That is true. True. Okay.
Finn leads an uprising, defecting stormtroopers in a ground battle in the streets of Coruscant.
But here they're like, you inspired us to deflect from the Empire.
Yes,
of the fall.
Awesome.
Exactly, and then here at the
mirroring his actions in the first one.
Exactly.
Right.
Very end of the movie, Finn and Rose lead a group of Force-sensitive youth to a remote planet where Rey is waiting to train the next generation of Jedi, and yes, Broomboy is one of them.
Crazy, and I like. Funny enough, I like that Rey stayed on no one. And Kylo Ren actually is not redeemed because he's too far gone.
And he died.
See, here's another
and
thing.
that he's supreme leader.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other person. There's no other new master.
No,
but I like that he's still given a mission, as some kind of Sith mission.
I do like Palpatine here.
And it's I love that. Palpatine's is a plot device, but he's not a person. He's not brought back, and he's not the new villain. No. It's Palpatine. He's Kylo Ren find Palpatine's holocron for Vader,
and Vader would have shown up in this movie too because he would have had a dark side battle with Vader in this movie
and loses.
Yeah,
because it says Vader beats the shit out of him.
One of the things I really like about this thing is you have Mark Hamill being sort of like the angel on his shoulder.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
But he's going between both of them.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it's not Mark Hamill just showing up and just, shitting on Last Jedi.
Yeah.
He's literally has something to do.
The script's amazing.
Yeah, it's the thing. Okay, Rey's parents still nobodies. Rey
which I like. I'm fine with.
But Kylo Ren killed them at the behest of Snoke.
Right.
Which I like that.
I find that odd.
Do you?
Because they're more or less around the same age. So when the fuck would he have killed them? When the hell would he have killed her parents? They look about the same age. You get me? Like, they don't look like there's a 20-year difference.
Right.
You get me? She's left on Jakku maybe 10, maybe 12 or something.
But maybe he killed them later. That's why they never got back to her.
Right, so then you have to explain then why did they leave in the first place? Like, you get me? So okay, so they were still on the run, but from what? From what and why?
Snoke.
You get me? Like there still would have been some more explanation. So I feel like that's something where I still would have had a little problem because something doesn't gel well there.
Can't all be great.
No, right, and I give it that. No, it's still a better fucking script.
100%.
The more and more I read about this, the more I'm kind of like, this is probably the movie we should have got.
Yeah, I like it because Luke is still training her, but also trying to make him come back.
Yeah,
he's doing both.
And I like that. You know what? It's a different movie. That script is something no one here would have predicted.
And it would, but this is I don't have a problem with this, but this would have actually pushed the fucking assholes that are like, they ruined Last Jedi's worst Star Wars movie. This would have pushed them further.
But
I don't think it would have pushed it further. It would have made Last Jedi matter more.
Well, I agree, but remember, there's already people out there who fucking hate Last Jedi.
Right.
To see a movie that continues in that direction would just make it worse.
But I think the main thing is
for me, I'm like, let's do it.
The general consensus of the Last Jedi haters is they don't like Luke's portrayal. And then the problem with Rey is everyone has not liked Rey since Force Awakens of how, she's OP. who is she? Well, let's give us an explanation. And then I don't understand why no one could just get over it. She's no one. Right. But then I don't know why people are like, oh, how is she no one? She has to be somebody. But it's like, yeah, but we saw in the prequels, the Jedi Order are not a bunch of fucking like royal families and a bunch of Skywalkers, right? There's only one Skywalker.
That's it.
You get me? Oh, but he's the most powerful. Yeah, but there was also other powerful Jedi before Anakin, before Luke, and they are not Skywalkers.
Right.
That's why I can't get over that. Like I see that this is like a family dynasty. I get that, but why? What is so hard to get over? Oh, there's other also powerful Jedi beings. Hell, we talk about all the time. Darth Revan was a Jedi before, and he was a powerful fucking Jedi. Revan was a powerful Jedi before he was a Sith, but he's not a Skywalker.
To me, that's just more fan service. It's just like everybody wants it to be a Skywalker, so it has to be a Skywalker.
Right, but then that was my problem with Rise of Skywalker in the first place. Because they gave it to them.
Yeah,
you get me? Like they cried and they were pandered, and I just cannot excuse ever. Mm-mm. Especially at the behest of the story.
So here's an interesting question. You've got Colin Trevorrow's script. You've got what we've read so far. Would you have wanted him to direct it?
Yes.
No. I don't think he's a better director than JJ. Correct. I think JJ is a better director.
Right. He's a better story writer.
But that script was great. Like I'll give it that. Maybe if he collaborated more with JJ, it would have been fleshed out better a little bit. Like the thing about the Kylo killing Rey's parents, I'm like, okay, then it leaves more questions than answers.
I know I'm going to be in the minority on this one, but that's the only thing about the script that I don't like. Is because, and it's not even a bad thing. It's just I actually really like the arc they gave Kylo Ren.
Me too. It's funny. The only redeeming factor in Rise of Skywalker is I actually like that he gets redeemed.
When he gets redeemed, and they have he has that moment with his father, and I actually dig that. So the fact that they've pushed him too far gone,
and they killed him,
and then they kill him off, it's kind of like you spent 3 movies
and trying to tell me. Leia gave up on him. Leia's like, no, he's too far gone. Kill him.
Yeah, see, that to me is like that speaks against.
That's where you would have needed a little bit more heart.
But that's again, you're right. It speaks against what these movies are trying to tell us, and that's the one thing I probably would have been like, I don't like that.
It mirrors Return of the Jedi.
A lot. Well, then there you go. That's why they didn't do it.
A lot.
Because they got too much flack for the first one mirroring.
Because if you notice, when they're in Coruscant Uprising, it's kind of like, and then the space battle above, it's Return of the Jedi. Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
As long as you don't get a scene where it's just like
that's what I mean. Let the script, but that's why I meant like let Colin Trevorrow's script
I do too.
Be the story basis, and then let J.J. Abrams come in and add more character, add more heart.
But you gotta remember with these guys, the directors like J.J. Abrams don't just come in and go, "What are we doing today? This? Okay, let's do this." They gotta make it their own.
I mean, he was hired really last minute to do Rise of Skywalker. Just saying,
but they didn't
to the point that he needed help with the script.
But they didn't just hand him a script and said, "Film this." He said he came in and
they told him like, "Oh, scrap the other one. You're doing a new one."
Yeah, exactly. So, but he's not the type of.
I'm saying from the get go, let Colin Trevorrow write, and then from the beginning hire J.J. Branagh to direct.
At the very least,
and help with script.
At very least, this script should have probably been evaluated further than just Bob Iger going, it's too much inside baseball.
100%. Someone should have just glanced over it and added some heart to it. That's it.
You could have easily handed this out to. I don't know how many fucking insider Star Wars fans are there in Hollywood. Millions?
I would have had him write and give Favreau directing.
Yeah,
I would have had Favreau.
Or at least pass the script to Favreau.
Hell, the original plan was Colin Trevorrow direct and then help co-write Episode 9 with Rian Johnson. That was the original plan from Last Jedi.
I remember that. Yeah.
So that would have happened, and this was the basis of that story. And Ryan would have helped because we already know he's a great scriptwriter. Mm-hmm. Knives Out is fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And all his other movies are incredible feats of writing. If he would have helped Colin Trevorrow's script this story, it would have been an incredible Episode 9. And we all would have fucking given it a standing ovation.
But see, this is where Fallout comes in. So many, and you just go back to what you're saying about how they pandered and then they give in.
Yeah.
Too many people complained about Rian Johnson after Last Jedi that they weren't like, look, we're upset with you. We're just like, look, we're just going to part ways at this point. We're not, you did a great job for us, whatever. We make billions of dollars. We're fine with you. But too many fucking people over here are complaining, so we're just not going to use you anymore. And then that's probably where the schism happened, where they're like, okay, let's start going on this third.
That's where Bob Iger stepped in. He shouldn't have stepped in.
No, but as far as Bob Iger,
it's his company.
I mean, you can't really. As far as Bob Iger's concerned, he ain't no fucking. Bob Iger's done a lot of great for us.
No,
he is not. What's his name that was before him?
What was his name?
Fuckface.
He sucked.
He really fucking pushed Disney into the ground.
Yeah, it almost got bought by Apple.
Name now. What is his name?
I'm just gonna search on the laptop.
There you go. But whatever. Yeah.
Iger's
done a lot of great.
So Bob Iger kind of stepping in. Even if you had told me that happened 2 years ago, that's what was going on. Michael Eisner. Bob, I probably would have been like, look, Bob Iger knows what he's doing.
Right.
And then I would have been okay with it at the time. So I can't really fault them going, this is what Bob said? All right, that's what Bob said. Because
he's the boss, right?
He's the boss. And Bob's actually done a lot of good for Disney. Enough to where they don't want the motherfucker to retire.
No, I don't either.
So if Joe's correct, after
I read a bunch
after the thing of Bob Iger stepping in and saying like, oh, that's too inside baseball, like no one's gonna understand that besides Star Wars fans. What the fuck did he say about Rise of Skywalker? Now I'm mad. If those are legitimate, his true remarks on this script, what did he say about Rise of Skywalker? He has to have been like, where did Palpatine come from? Or did he agree and be like, oh, yeah, they're familiar with that?
I would say more than that.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know much about Bob Iger as personally, but I look at him and I don't see a Star Wars fan.
No.
I actually agree with you.
So I see somebody who has just a very preliminary.
Friends with George Brown,
because it wasn't Kathleen Kennedy that gave us the announcement or the statement that like they're stepping away from Skywalker stuff and then taking a step back from Star Wars. It was Bob Iger.
It was him.
So if anything, it was him, giving us like we need less Star Wars for it to matter more. So less is more with Star Wars, which I actually agree with that sentiment. If these were the things that we were going to get, I guess.
So we got a Colin Trevorrow written script that we all like. Needs maybe another 2 polishes to kind of find it out. So we say Rian Johnson comes back in, rewrites it again, gives it a little push, softens out the end, just makes it nice and neat. And what
adds heart.
So you still want
just needs some heart.
That's all it needs. So we have Abrams in the running to direct it. Anybody else we think would...
I would have said Favreau.
I would have said, Favreau is another great one. But Favreau's working on Mandalorian, so I doubt he would have committed to that,
too. It would have been too hard.
It would have been too hard.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of who else could we have brought in that could have, really brought the script to life and made it interesting.
Uncle George. Bring him. No, I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking. Do not
we have to announce that Joe's not going to be on the podcast anymore. We're still going to use your room, but we're
fine.
We just show up.
We're going in, right?
I'll make a door right
here. Yeah. And you even understand it. You're just like, no, I get it. I made a mistake. I'm out.
I get it.
I'm just trying to think of if there's anybody else they could have. Somebody spectacular, but somebody who could, because Abrams is the guy right now, so.
He's too flashy because he's too more. Oh, look at this! Yeah. Oh, look at this!
Yeah, he's blockbuster.
Right,
that's what he is.
He's Michael Bay.
He's Michael Bay for nerds.
Yeah,
he's better than Bay, but way better than Bay. Yeah. But he's kind of like that. Oh, look at this light. Oh, forget this story.
I'm just glad he stopped with the lens flares.
Oh,
that was one movie.
What? You did a lot.
I didn't watch
Super 8, 2 Star Trek movies.
I didn't watch
No, there was lens flares in Mission Impossible 3.
That was a lot, yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Who else could have done
it? Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards would have been.
Who did Rogue One.
Okay.
All right, yeah, that would have been a good one.
I mean, even though he needed help with Tony Gilroy, but whatever.
No,
he would have done a fine job. I would have, of course, I'm biased though. I would have loved like Alex Garland, but Alex Garland would have, laughed his way.
Shot through a fucking dark gel through the whole movie.
he would have laughed his way from being asked. Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina, fucking Annihilation, wrote and
who
did some scenes with Dredd. He would have never done that. He would never do a Star Wars movie.
No, he's too much into his own.
He is one of the He's one of those that he just wants to do his own stuff.
Yeah.
And I respect him all the more for it.
Oh, that's right. He went. I was gonna say, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy? James Gunn.
Yeah. No, Disney would have not allowed that.
No,
especially in that time.
No. So,
but from the sounds of it, we really love Colin Trevorrow's script.
Oh, given what we got, yeah, of course. Had I read this beforehand, I might have been like, I don't know. It's hard to say how I would have felt before seeing Rise. You know. Now, if I read this before seeing Rise and saw Rise, I would have hated Rise a lot more.
Oh, fuck it. But that's why when I send it to you guys, I said I am more mad now.
Me too. I said I don't like it. I don't like episode 9 now. I mean, I like it a lot less than I did.
Yeah. Like, to know that this was a possibility and got passed over, that kind of burns.
Except for Chewie and the X-Wing, I don't think it would have worked.
I mean, whatever.
But
that's a little tiny.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, again.
That's what I'm saying.
And that could have been polished out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's great. But the script was great.
And for me, the only thing I would have wanted, I would have actually wanted the redemption of Kylo Ren.
It sucks because I'm probably leaning more towards hating Rise of Skywalker more than you guys. I agree with you. I actually really like the redemption of Kylo Ren.
I do.
And since Force Awakens, I said, do not redeem him.
Same.
But I actively
because every time I brought it up, you were like, no.
Yeah.
No. And I'm like, I see it. I see what they're trying to do.
It's just the way Abrams did it. I liked it.
Yeah. I dug it.
I felt for him, man. I felt for it. And it sucks.
Just including Leia and Han in that sequence. The only thing that would have made it burst even further putting Luke into it.
And every touching moment that he had with Rey, to me, just added fuel to that fire. I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I actually really like that he might come back. Yeah. And when he does at the end with the shoulder shrug, that's it. It won me over.
It sells you.
It won me over.
And then that whole fight sequence with the Knights of Ren are just like, oh, yeah.
That's what people
I've been waiting for this for a while.
There was no build up to that kiss. I'm like, yes, there was.
What movies were you watching?
There was a lot of build up.
It's like, I've seen it since the first movie. What are you talking about?
These two should have fucked a long time ago.
Here's the thing. The fact that he didn't have a shirt on in one scene kind of should have told you that. You know, it wasn't just because we wanted to see Adam Driver's chest. We didn't. But she did.
She did.
So
they're like, oh, there was no build. I'm like, there was a lot of.
It's also those same people who were like, you know, who were before Attack of the Clones came out and they heard that it was going to be a love story between Anakin and Padme. They were sitting there going, I don't want to see a love story in Star Wars. Those same people, you know?
They already did, Han Solo and Leia.
Yeah. But they didn't realize that. They're like, oh, this is the first time we're ever going to see that. I'm like, you already saw it once.
People
just because you're stupid and you didn't realize it.
The same people that say that are also stupid say that, like, oh, it felt like an ancestral love. And I was like, how?
What?
They're like, oh, she's from the Force, like Anakin, which is good. I was like, wait, what? No.
You mean it's opposed to where they were actually incestuous in the first one?
Right. So it's like, so they're not incestuous because if anything, that's something that Rise of Skywalker gave us is she's a Palpatine. Yeah. She has nothing to do with being birthed from the Force. And then something that we really have to correct, especially here in the podcast, because us three know better. Anakin was not birthed from the Force by fucking Sidious. It was by Plagueis.
Right.
We know that. Why are people saying that on Twitter and on Instagram and shouting in podcasts? Where the hell did people get that that's from Sidious?
Because they want it to be Sidious, but I always thought that he was birthed by the Force.
Right, by Plagueis.
No.
By Plagueis fucking around with the Force.
But
which is in the story of the tragedy of Plagueis.
Okay, so if that's in there, never mind then. But I always took it as he was birthed by the living Force itself because the Force knew that it needed to be balanced, so it birthed him to be the balance.
But no, Plagueis played with it.
It's half of this, but half Plagueis playing fucking with the Force. Okay. Because in the tale of the tragedy of Plagueis, when Palpatine is telling Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, actually.
Right. Yes, it is.
Yes.
In that arena, I forgot, that play, whatever the opera. I don't know what it was.
The weird Cirque du Soleil water play that they were watching?
They were watching Avatar.
Would you call it a space opera?
Pun.
Okay.
Puns are fun, but not here.
Okay, I'll see myself up.
The problem,
but yeah, like when he tells him the story of what happens, where he's talking about when he struck down his own master, he said that he was experimenting with the Force and was able, and he discovered a way to create life.
Correct.
He said that. He said Plagueis did, not himself.
Right.
So where the fuck are people getting that Sidious created Anakin?
But on this script, why did Palpatine tell him to go to see this Jedi Master who instructed me? I'm like, Plagueis instructed you. Who's this other guy?
It might not have been his only master. He could have had another. The rule of two.
To me, that was strange too. I give it that too.
Right? Doesn't mean, here's the thing, the rule of two only states that there could only be one master and one apprentice in the Sith.
But they always broke it.
Right. That's true.
They always broke.
But he could have struck down his master and
become
then
the master.
But sought out another. Because playing Sidious to me seems like the type of person who doesn't really just settle for power. I mean, he wants power, but he learns as much as possible. So he's kind of gleaming from everything.
After that, he became a Padawan again?
Well, I wouldn't say Padawan, just an apprentice.
To apprentice to another.
Yeah.
I say...
Or it could be the one before Plagueis.
I say I'll polish over the script in that aspect, Justin and Joe, that being could have just been Plagueis and consciousness instilled in this new body. Okay. But then it's a body that he can't even move. Like, he's immobile. So it's like being like not brain dead, but like kind of being
to a giant machine, just like Palpatine was.
Shooting giant bolts of lightning out of his hands.
Yeah. Whatever. Look at me.
Or worse, the essence of Plagueis was put into a body that wasn't force sensitive.
Jesus.
That's hell. That's the definition of hell for a Sith.
Yeah.
So imagine how that would have been like the final nail in the coffin for Plagueis if Palpatine had done that. So not only struck his master down, but to make sure that he does not come back is move his consciousness to a body that is immobile and didn't have force powers.
Wow.
Amazing. That would have, to me, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But like we said, we like the script. Maybe another polish or two, glossed over. Maybe not Colin Trevorrow directs because Jurassic World, not great.
Yeah, that's why I was brought it up.
And then his other movies have just been like indie movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, clearly, we don't know if he can do action.
That's why I always thought that they pulled him off the movie. Was like somebody came in the room and said, "You do realize we gave our $1 billion franchise to." He's only really made one movie that people like, so what are we doing?
Right.
I didn't realize it was this too.
Yeah.
So, but...
Oh, God. George Lucas holding baby. That's a meme unto a fucking self.
My baby.
So, again, thanks for listening. I think we're going to end it right there.
Right.
Hopefully, George will be back next week. He seems to be avoiding us.
So we can finally talk Witcher, man.
By the time he comes back, I'm going to have forgotten about this show.
Did you finish it?
Oh, I finished it.
Okay.
I tried to watch it again. Then
watch Crisis, so we can do Witcher and Crisis next week.
I'll watch Crisis. We'll have the next episode of Outsider to talk about next week.
I can't fucking wait already.
I
want that now.
Yeah. We'll have the new Avengers to talk about, Avengers 29. I don't think there's any is there Star Wars book? No, there was no Star Wars books this week. So next week's going to be even lighter as far as comics goes because there's not.
It's weird. And I was telling these guys off air, like I'm planning on dropping a lot of the books.
So next week we might be just shit talking a lot. Oh, I wanted to bring this up, and this is probably an off air conversation. So we might have something big planned for episode 50, which I know is probably 12 episodes away.
12, we'll get there.
Yeah. So, but we might have something planned, something a little different for episode 50. Stay tuned for that, and let us know what you think.
Follow us on podcast platforms.
Yep. We do have. I will say we do have one review on iTunes, and it's positive. So that's really good.
Thank you.
And please continue to review us if you haven't. Just give us a shout. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you all next week.